Welcome to the Mizzle Dub Show, where they know sports. If you wanna know about sports, this is where you go. Welcome to the Mizzle Dub Show, where they know sports. If you wanna know about sports, this is where you go.
First down, touchdown. First down, touchdown, yeah. First down, touchdown. First down, touchdown, yeah. First down, touchdown. First down, touchdown, yeah. First down, touchdown. First down, touchdown, yeah.
Hello. How's it going?
How you doing? How you doing?
Right.
Well, we thought it was turning into a blowout, but right now,
The Dallas Mavericks have made their way back into this game. Wow.
Under 5.5 to go, it is Boston 93, Dallas 90. The Celtics were as high as up as 21 points.
Wow.
And Jaylen Brown was going off, and now Dallas just used a 17-2 run to get back into game 3, trying to not go down 3-0. As factual as that is, and that is a factual, and that is a factual statement. However, you play with who you got. You play with the bodies that are healthy, and it's unfortunate for Boston that Porzingis is out because he has played fantastic in these 2 games in the finals, and there's a chance he might not play again in this series. And if he doesn't, and Dallas somehow comes back and wins game 3, that could change the trajectory of this NBA Finals. It really could. But
facts.
We will. But like we also said, me and Mizzle, Kyrie was not going to have 3 straight games of shooting like crap.
Negative.
And he has been. And he has been big. Right now, we got 5:18 to go in game 3. Luka has the ball in hand. Again, Celtics up by 3. And if you're Dallas, you really don't need a 3. And a foul's called on Derek White.
You don't. Just continue to play the game. Just continue to play the game you've been playing to get yourself back in the game. Don't alter what you've been doing, because the moment you go away from what got you there, that's where the Celtics will make a run. All it takes is one shot to get the Celtics going. And Jaylen Brown has been playing well. He's been playing spectacularly the whole final. So
yes, he
I'm
has.
not shocked with that.
That's a tough shot by Luka. I don't know why he took that shot. I really don't.
Pressing. He might be, pressing right now when he doesn't need to. It's still plenty of time. You guys, they did what they needed to do to make the game interesting. Now just continue to play your game. I wouldn't. It's tough to say, man. It's almost like when I was out there, we said go down instead of trying to get those extra yards. But we were on the sideline, and those players are out there playing. So it's easy for us to say what for them to do when they're in that mode. So, yeah.
Well, right now Tatum has 27 to lead Boston. Brown has 26. White has 11. Holiday has 9. Horford has 8. On the Dallas side, Kyrie leading with 31 for Dallas. Luka with 27. Washington with 12. Lively with 7 off the bench. A 20-2 run by the Mavericks got them back in within 3 at 93-90 with 4:38 to go here in the 4th quarter of game 3. Again, Boston currently up 2-0, trying to go up 3-0. As we know, nobody has ever come back down 3-0 in the NBA Finals to win it.
Nobody.
Only one has done it from a 3-1 deficit. But before we continue on about game 3. Unfortunately, this game will be overshadowed by a tremendous loss in the NBA. He's only the logo that you've been seeing as long as you've been existing and watching NBA basketball. The legendary Hall of Famer, Mr. Clutch, the logo, Jerry West, passing away at the age of 86. But again, I've said it so many times before. Next to Red Auerbach, Jerry West is the greatest basketball executive.
100%.
Period.
100%.
Period.
No
period.
Hey. the Warriors don't draft Klay Thompson or Steph Curry, or they don't get KD. They don't get Draymond.
And they don't be stupid and trade Klay for Dwight Howard.
Yes.
If not for Jerry West.
He was like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So
Jerry West, along with Bob Myers, is responsible. Well, it's a tough shot. I'm glad you just missed it. Is responsible for 2 of the 4 Larry O'Briens the Warriors have had in the Joe Legabera. That's a good question, cuz I really don't know how that story came about.
Very good question. I got it, Deb. I posted. There we go. Yeah, that's a very good question.
But I know he has said it many times that he didn't want to be the logo anymore.
Indeed. It's time to move to Jordan. Give the Jordan. The jump man. Let's do it.
And that was a great statement put out by MJ because, as we know, MJ adored Jerry West for a long time. They were really good friends. The long tweet that Magic Johnson put out, obviously because Jerry drafted Magic and everything. Magic learned how to do business-wise. He learned from Mr. West. Obviously, Pat Riley, who has found tremendous success doing what he does with the Miami Heat, implementing Heat culture. He learned all that he learned all that from Jerry West because when Pat Riley was winning his 5 with the Lakers during the Showtime era, Jerry West was the GM. The 3 that Kobe and Shaq won, that was the logo. Obviously, he was a consultant with the Clippers at the time of his passing, as the Clippers put out a statement. And I'm pretty sure Jerry West is one of the reasons why the Intuit Dome in Inglewood is being built, and the Clippers are now becoming the Inglewood Clippers.
Yes.
In the 2024-2025 season. And I mean, that arena is going to be spectacular up there in Inglewood. Like, I really would like to
next to the Warriors arena. I believe that's going to be a pretty damn good arena.
Oh yeah, there's going to be some NCAA tournament games played in that arena for sure.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
So, but nonetheless, we are waiting for. Oh yeah, the game is back on. Let's see. What did they call here?
I think were they looking at something that had to do with Luka?
It might have been a challenge.
I think it has something to do with the and something that happened up in the corner. I didn't get a chance to put my eyes on it.
I don't know if Luka Doncic's feet were set. If he was called for a charge.
Oh, that's a blocking foul.
Clearly there is contact, no question.
Well, that's tough, especially because he's not in that area.
Yeah,
that's kind of hard. That's kind of hard to call.
Yeah. So we are awaiting the call here. Now, again, Game 4 of the finals will be on Friday. And if Boston wins, they'll have a chance to clinch their 18th NBA championship. But if somehow the Mavericks avoid a sweep, Game 5 will be Monday back in the Garden on the parquet floor. So Game 4, Friday. Game 5, if necessary, on Monday.
Do you know that we have boxing on Peacock this weekend?
Peacock as well, really?
Peacock has boxing this weekend, yes.
So we got Amazon Prime pay-per-view and boxing on Peacock. Nice.
Yes.
So the call is upheld as we thought it would be, so Dallas will lose a timeout.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what they were trying to do was slow the game down a little bit, probably give the players a little bit of rest. You can clearly see that was a blocking foul. So I believe that was a call just to get the players to get a little bit of rest.
And not just that, Luka Doncic has just fouled out, folks.
Oh, that's why they really challenged. Never mind my statement. I should let my brother finish what he had to say. That's the reason why they challenged that, because they didn't want to get Luka out the game. Yeah, it's time to start for you to do your famous hymns right now, because it's time to put the women and children to bed on this one.
Well, an air ball by Jaylen Brown, so there's 3:50 to go, and Kyrie's got the ball in hand. Tim Hardaway Jr. is now in for Luka Doncic. Kyrie's leading scorer for Dallas, and he might have to pick up the pace now.
Now, do you make that call? Do you make that call?
Oh, Kyrie with the jumper. It's a 1-point game. If we're talking about the integrity of the call, I have to stand by it.
Yeah.
I have to. I can't show favoritism. I just can't. Tatum with the ball in his hand. There's 6 on the shot clock. Missed. Oh, but Jaylen Brown right there for the putback.
Hasn't he been great, man?
Man, he has. Absolutely. Oh, my goodness. They call an offensive foul on P.J. Washington.
Oh, baby. Oh, see?
Oh, boy. Let's see.
And Dallas can't challenge no more because they already lost.
They can't. But Jaylen Brown right there with a big putback.
Oh, yeah.
He is trying to get.
You got to box that man out.
You do.
I believe he's your Finals MVP right now.
Absolutely.
If the Celtics win, he's the Finals MVP.
Absolutely. Boy.
Yeah.
The Celtics win the championship. You win the Larry Bird MVP award, and then you would name the Bill. Oh, that's a big 3. Oh, that might be the dagger. Derek White might have just put the dagger in Game 3 with that big 3-pointer.
Too much firepower, man.
98-92, Boston with 2.5 to go here in the game. It's all on Kyrie, and he's fouled by Holiday. So Kyrie will go to the line to shoot 2.
Wait, would that mean that Drew Holiday will get another ring?
That would be his second, yes.
Because he got one with the Bucks.
Correct.
Next, big trade. Big pickup by the Celtics. I said that to my brother the moment that they came across the ticker. I was like, oh, I see what they're doing. Oh, I get it.
His big one was the big pissed off face emoji. That's what he sent me because he was like, damn it. But again, I get it. That's how I felt when I read that Christian McCaffrey was on the cover of Madden. I'm like, damn it, no.
Hey, well, how you think I feel that they got my team chasing his ass? We about as part of that fucking curse as your team. Shit. That a bitch. Could have put any other fucking team on the back of that shit, but oh no. Let's just go ahead and put the Raiders back there. I see what y'all do in EA Sports. Slick son of a bitches. You found a way to incorporate Madden. Madden
would not approve of that.
No, he would not have approved of that.
No, Madden would not
he
approve
would not have approved of that.
He would be like, take my team off the cover.
You damn right.
4-point
damn
lead,
right.
24-7 run by the Mavericks. Tatum inside. Oh! Jason Tatum, is that how you feel?
Yeah. Yeah. He's trying to get that trophy.
29 for Tatum. Boston by 6. Nearing 2 minutes. Kyrie with the left, no good. White saves it, but then goes right to Dallas. Exum, though. Lively puts it back in. It's still a 4-point game. 1:50 to go here in the game. Crowd chanting defensive side of the American Airlines or the Michelob Ultra Center. No, it's still the American Airlines Center. Okay.
And thank you all to everybody. Wow, Doug, we got 16 viewers right now.
Wow.
We appreciate you guys chiming in on us. That means you really like us. We must be entertaining.
Oh, rebound by Hardaway.
Oh, boy.
90 seconds to go. Kyrie picked up by Holiday. Kyrie looking for some. Oh, he found the open man. They went to sleep. And Lively dunks it in.
You can't do that. You definitely can't go to sleep. You can't go to sleep.
80 seconds to go. Lead is 2.
Oh, boy. Need a big stop right here.
They do. Big time.
As you hear the defensive chants in the background.
And Jaylen Brown's got the ball in his hand where he wants it.
You might want to stop that, young man.
Oh, that's clutch.
Yep.
Oh, that's a clutch shot.
Yep.
Oh, baby. Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
30 for Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, but are you shocked at what this young man is doing?
No. Washington for 3. Oh, rims out. Oh, that hurts.
Big time. Big time. That hurts big time.
And
So
whistle.
to
Everybody
those
on the
that
floor.
are chiming in, thank you for chiming in to this episode 212 of the Mizzle and Dell Show. Man, we're doing pretty good, and we also coming up. Next month will be our 4-year. Wow.
No, this month on the 27th.
Oh, it's this month.
Yeah.
That little boy needs to get home and get in the booth. He needs to come home and get in the booth. I mean, we got
46.
we got all that we need. We got the graphics and everything. Shout out to little cuz for that.
Creative Brothers Productions. Yes, indeed.
It's coming. Don't worry about it. Here it comes.
9 on the shot clock. Kyrie for 3. Short. Tipped. Rebound. And Washington called for the foul.
We're gonna also need give us something so how they can reach out to you so they can book you. You know.
Yes. So you can get paid, young man.
Yeah, give us another flyer with the information on it, so that we can put the IG on it and stuff like that. Hook us up with another one. You know, we'll put it on here.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Derek White at the line, 22 seconds. Basically, if he hits these, game's over.
Well, I doubt he misses.
Oh, that's it. Lead is 5 with 22 seconds as Derek White hits the first free throw.
Yeah, put a ball on it, right?
You pretty much can.
Yeah. Now, should Boston come out and put this away, or do you think they'll lax and try to win it home at the parquet floor?
You don't try to give any team any kind of life whatsoever.
100%.
If you got a chance to pop a little bit of the bubbly, as we like to say on this show, you go ahead and do everything you can to try and pop that bubbly.
Well, the Warriors lived off doing that, so
yes. I mean, three of the 4 that the Warriors have won, they've been popping champagne in the other team's locker room.
And they popped it on the parquet floor. So
yes, they did. So there you have it. So I mean, if exactly, Debo.
Yeah.
If you can bust out the brooms, bust out the brooms.
That should be your mindset.
You get 4 wins any way you possibly can.
Yeah, game 4 should be nothing but business. They should come out with a mindset that it's whatever it takes.
A tale of 2 halves for Jaylen Brown. He had 6 in the first half, 24 in the second. Now again, me and Mizzle knew this watching this man in Berkeley, California at the legendary Haas Pavilion. We saw the talent live and up close. So him doing this by no means is any surprise to us right now. None.
That's to let you know we're from the Bay Area.
That too. That too.
But no, that's why I say this young man is your finals MVP. If it's he's been playing consistent throughout the whole finals, and a good way to pick up. Well, Porzingis was just doing what he was doing, but it's good to see that Jaylen Brown was playing how he said he was going to play. He said there was going to be he had a little something coming into this one. So it's good to see that, he's a Cal Berkeley product. So I guess I slightly got to be happy that something's going on up in Boston. But other than that, not happy that they're winning this final.
Well, I'll tell you what. Kudos to Joe Mazzulla, because he became the head coach in the most unique circumstances that you can take over a job.
Yes.
And what happened with Udoka, who's now coach of the Houston Rockets.
Yes.
And then just to stick to the plan. And also kudos has to go to Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens has put this team together.
To go from head coaching right into the office.
Yeah.
And not miss a beat from where they left when he was coaching.
No.
I mean, to have two good coaches, even though whatever went on with you just said his name a second ago. I just can't think of his name right now.
Udoka.
In Houston. Yeah.
Yes.
To go from him and then not even fall off to get this young man here, and now it looks like they're about to host a trophy. So you can consider. Did they already announce manager of the year? Because he should damn near get GM.
Coach of the year, no. Executive of
No,
the year,
GM of the year. None of that yet.
Executive of the year, I don't think has been mentioned at all yet. No, I don't think so.
Brad Stevens should have his hands in there because
106.99.
Pretty good.
And for the third straight game in the finals, the Mavericks do not crack 100 points.
Wow.
The Boston Celtics are 48 minutes away from hoisting championship number 18, as they will try to clinch it this upcoming Friday. And of course, as we know, in a best of 7, no one's ever came winning 3 games in a 156-0. And the Celtics win by a final score of 106-99. Kyrie was spectacular. He had 35 tonight, but unfortunately it was not enough. Luka Doncic fouls out, but again, it was the superb play of Jaylen Brown in the second half that willed the Celtics team to a win. Like I said, Boston, I'll say it like this. Last year's Boston team would have lost tonight, blowing that 21-point lead.
Yes, I agree.
And just 30 points, 8 rebounds, a career playoff high, 8 assists. Woke up prematurely, or he would have messed around and got one. But the Boston Celtics stand 1 win away from title number 18, to which they did it in a full season, Laker fans. Yes, I'm throwing shade.
Well, there's one thing that it is that Boston does play good defense.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes,
that's one thing that's not spoken about a little bit more. They play defense pretty good and they rebound the ball pretty well. So
now check this out, folks. Now the Boston Celtics have had a very long, prestigious history and some fantastic players. But even this is impressive. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, the first Celtics duo in NBA Finals history of the Celtics that they each had 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Not even Burton McHale, Havlicek and Russell, KG and Paul Pierce or Ray Allen. No one has done that in the Celtics history of the finals until tonight with Brown and Tatum. That's impressive. And we're talking about a very prestigious history with the Leprechaun. But the Boston Celtics defeat the Dallas Mavericks by a score of 106-99, and the Boston Celtics stand 1 win away from perhaps hoisting their 18th Larry O'Brien trophy and to bring another batter back to the parquet floor inside the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Game 4 will be on Friday from American Airlines Center. And again, as I said in my headline, if I can hoist it back up, I said, is it over for Dallas? And right now, Dandy Don.
Check out my headline.
Dandy Don Meredith might be warming up his pipes for Friday, possibly getting ready to sing "Turn Out the Lights." The party's over, and don't think that.
All right, Debo. That's enough of that Boston fucking Celtics word on this damn shit. You never get it. I was showing it. That's it. You met your quota. That's it. That's about all I can stand.
Because I can't stand no more.
Anymore.
But anyhow, welcome guys to the Mizzle and Dove Show, episode 212. and of course, Debo's going to be that just because it just goes hand in hand.
Well, like I said I can't stay anymore. And he tried to test the waters. So just like with his children, when they try to push the button, we ain't showing them no gratitude with that. So that doesn't get posted.
Well,
sorry.
Well, I mean, hey, it is what it is. But welcome to the Mizzle and Dove Show, episode 212, and Tatum and Brown combined for 60.
We'll hang a star on that one.
hey, it is what it is. But Celtics get the win, one win away. But it just seems like once Luka Doncic fouled out the game and all the pressure became on Kyrie, I think the Celtics just clamped down defensively on Kyrie because basically they were saying, your teammates make us beat you. Sounds familiar before in past NBA Finals play. But also to talk about today, we lost the legendary Jerry West, of course, who passed away at the age of 86. Man lived a tremendous life. One of the greatest basketball executives of all time. But people don't understand just exactly how great of a player he was. And unfortunately, he despised. Who knows how many titles he could have won as a player if it was not for Mr. Russell and Mr. Cousy and Casey Jones.
He got there.
Well, Lucas had, he got the ring titles, but I mean, everybody wants to talk about LeBron James being 4 and 6 in the finals, and I get it, I do. But Jerry West went 1 for 8. He played in 9 as a player.
Like I said, he got there.
1 for 8. 7 of those losses came via of the doggone leprechaun in. Yeah, he got there. And then finally came through in 1972 when they had that 33-game winning streak. Well, Lucas had a good series. It's not him. And then until tonight, Kyrie finally stepped up and you were getting the Kyrie Lucas show. But again, Luka got into foul trouble. And that's where, but again, it's just, we talk about Tatum and Brown and all that, but again, just Drew Holiday adds on the defensive end of the floor changes everything for the Celtics to where Brown and Tatum can just freelance on defense and pretty much let Drew Holiday do the dirty work.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. I mean, like I said, even with Porzingis being out, and like I said, Porzingis was outstanding in these finals. And it just seems like it's all clicking in gear for.
Well, which my question when
is making my
Well, when it came to Porzingis, I thought he was going to have some rust on him, which he did until he got hurt. He didn't have no rust on him.
Hello, Mr. Carey. How are you, sir?
Shout out to the hardest man in the industry, man. You know, just big shout out to him. Big shout out to Mel.
Hardest working man in sports. That's just
right.
What he does.
My man is on his way out to Thailand. Flash Media will be out in Thailand, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But as you were saying, Dub.
No, I was just saying that I mean, you just have to tip your cap. I mean, it's very rare in today's sports where the team that has the best record all season long normally wins the championship because, you know,
it doesn't happen that way, doesn't it?
It does not. But it appears to be that way for the Celtics. Without question, they've been the best team record-wise in the NBA all season long. And they are on the cusp of winning number 18. I know. I'm a huge Jaylen Brown fan.
That's about the only thing.
You asked me that question. If I was going to keep one of them in Boston, I told you. But I'm keeping Brown because I agree with you. I just love his motor.
Yeah.
I just love his. I love his motor. That's all I can say.
A little more consistent than Tatum, I would say. Even though I'm not saying Tatum's not a good player, I would on the line as Jaylen Brown just made a couple of huge shots towards the end of the game. Definitely with that putback, I will definitely trust a little bit more than Jaylen Brown than I would trust Tatum. That's just me.
I mean, you're not wrong on that. Not wrong at all. But we'd like to thank all 21 of you guys for viewing us right now. We feel kind of special.
Real special now.
We just appreciate that. I mean, it's very rare you kind of get us in the prime hours, because normally it's a late night night out type of thing. But since my guy is off, and so here we are. We just caught it.
And let's as my brother, I had a feeling his internet was going to do that. So I guess it's me for a second, but it's good that I have a wife that allows me to sit here and do this kind of thing and let me fulfill my dream per se. But I don't know what's going on with Dallas. It just they have the talent to contend with. Well, not necessarily, because Boston has the more of the firepower. But I just thought that Dallas might have a little bit more edge with their size. But it seems like Missoula figured out a recipe to contend with that, because wow. Oh well, I mean, we could sit here and do a whole episode about his Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi could be look, we got 23 people on right now viewing it, 24, and all they're doing is just looking at my mug right now. That's okay. Mizzle can hold it down. And yes, cousin, I agree to that, but not even that. The Boston Celtics only been to the finals twice as a unit. I just think a little more experience as being together as a unit, playing together, but just having a little bit more, as you would say, your true statement that they had a little more finals experience. But yeah, I believe you are right more on the statement is that I believe that the Celtics was there just recently, and they knew what it took after the Warriors beat them. Because if you want to be technical, the Celtics should have really won that finals. The Warriors had no business winning that finals, but us Warriors fans, we're going to be like, you damn right they did, because, we're big fans. And when we get there, we expect our team to handle business. But with this one, you can tell that they knew they were battle tested, and they were going to come in here and they were going to handle business. Game one showed you off top that they wasn't taking this finals for granted. And then game two, Dallas had their chance, but just too much firepower that came off the bench with the Celtics. And then game three, just pure dominance. So I do expect Luka to try to have a good game and carry this team, but I just believe the Celtics are just too strong, and that sucks that I have to sit here and say that, because I really would want this series to go a little bit farther. But I did say the Celtics were going to win, but my hope was that the Mavs would at least took it to like 7 and gave them a chance. Oof. Yeah. Nah, you didn't miss a good game. The movie was better than what this game was about, so you didn't miss much. You enjoyed yourself a good movie. You'd have been a little bit disappointed with the game. Well, not disappointed. In the end, it got a little interesting. But the moment that Luka Doncic got fouled out, the game just went directly into the Celtics. It went in the Celtics' favor. Well, yeah, I mean, you never want a series to end the way it is unless it's your team. You always want your team to handle business, per se. But as a fan that has no dog in the fight, I'd love to see this series go a little bit more, because I would love a little bit more basketball. Because when basketball is over, you got the dog days of just a lot of baseball. You probably get NASCAR. But I believe the Olympics is starting to pick up here. So maybe won't be it won't be long till football starts. So we just got to make it to September. No, wait, we got August. I believe August is when we get the preseason games. But thank you for the 23 that have been watching to the 212th episode of the Mizzle and Dub Show. As you just have Mizzle right now, because it seems like technical difficulties is going on with my brother down there in Vegas. But it really sucks that this finals is going this way. I didn't really want it to go that way. I expected, especially how battle tested the Mavericks were. Well, yeah. It was more that I wanted Luka to get one than anything else. It's more because Kyrie got one and it came at the expense of the Warriors. But I'd have been happy to see for Luka to get one. See, 85 days is just too long. No, Keith, I need football like yesterday. And see, and I'm a selfish fan because I do want that 18 game season, but it just sucks because I also think about the players and their bodies, and are you going to give them an extra week? So just football just takes. I understand why it takes so long to get back because the men got to rest their bodies. Unlike what I saw there over this past weekend, whew, no helmet, no pads, boom, and yes, it does. Yes, it does. Believe everybody will second that. Buffering is not a very good thing because it stops you from watching. If you're streaming live things, and sometimes that will put you back 10 seconds behind because it stops you from watching. If you're streaming, hey, as co-host makes his return, so go ahead and give us.
Okay, now why is it I come back and my screen is black? What the hell? Like, technology can really suck it right now. It really can in the absolute worst way.
Keys.
There's
You
people
can't be
that might have
sitting.
not
Hey,
seen
I'm
the
gonna say
movie
this:
yet,
people that hadn't
but
watched the movie.
yes,
I know your excitement,
yes,
but
indeed.
yes,
Hang the star on that baby.
And you know that's your last statement that will be said on the show about Bad Boys 4. Okay, because I'm not gonna do that. I'm not
It really can in the absolute.
You can't do that.
Worst
you can't do that. I know you're
way.
excited, but put that in the chat. No, we can't even put that in the chat. Keys.
There's people that might not.
I'm gonna say that people that haven't watched the movie.
Yes.
I know your excitement.
Yes, indeed. Hang the star on that baby.
And you know that's your last statement that will be said on the show about Bad Boys 4. Okay, I'm not gonna.
You really can in the absolute.
I'm lost. All right, Double, go ahead. Put for while you were out, go ahead and catch on up with oh, as he looked like he takes
wanting to give technology the bionic elbow. Okay, stop it, computer. Just stop. Trying to do a show here. Good grief. Anyhow, welcome to episode 212 of the movie. And now here we go. Here we I am so buying me a router tomorrow. I really am, because I'm really tired of this crap. Like I'm going to Best Buy or I'm going to Target and getting me a router or an extender, because I'm really getting sick of this. And the trajectory of this building does not help either. But nonetheless, we were trying to talk about, Mizzle was talking about how he wanted the series to go long. I originally said Mavericks in 7, just because I didn't know if Boston. But I mean, you just have to give credit where credit's due. Joe Mizzle has done a fantastic job. Brad Stevens has put this together, and thus that's why you have the Celtics where they're at. And we will see on Friday evening, same bat time, same bat channel on ABC, if they can put it together and bring back that 18th championship back to the parquet floor. As that's what's going on in the world of sports. As I'm trying to get messages out right now, so bear with me, fans.
Oh, you're good.
All right, so here we go. Nonetheless, let's see what's also going on in the.
Oh, okay. So pay attention again. And once his internet takes another kerplunk, I hope he does go get that router tomorrow, so we're going to have this issue, even though I have my little internet issue problems as well. But I would just to piggyback on what Keith said earlier, the Bad Boys movie is really good. I do recommend that everybody go support that movie if you can. It is pretty good. I'll say this: Martin definitely will have you cracking up. Definitely cracking up. Hey, Debo. Yeah, my bad. I thought he was gonna hold it down for a little bit. I was trying to send out a text message, but his internet said, "Hold on, let's get back." I love it. But hey, to be fair, it is pretty bad. Just that I was there, like my internet wasn't. I didn't get the best reception when I was there. So there's a pretty bad reception there. So where everybody that's watching us, where are you like technically at? Is it hot? I know where some of everybody is, but is the weather been very, very hot for you guys? Because I know when I was in Vegas, it was whoo. And then even to come back home, the weather was pretty hot. So, but just to get back to this game that's coming up Friday, I expect the Celtics to come out and take care of business. I see a sweep happening. I believe they will be hoisting that trophy, and I'm gonna be a little upset about that because I'm gonna have to come back on here Friday or Saturday and sit here and talk about the Celtics winning the championship. You see how bad this thing just works for me? First, I had to sit here and talk about either or the Niners or the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl that was played in Vegas. Would have been okay talking about the Mavericks winning the finals, but now I got to sit here and talk about the Celtics possibly winning the finals. It's just not right, man. No, because it won't be a lot of talk. It'll just be a lot of agreements with Dub talking about what the Celtics did to win the trophy and how it's their 18th and the prestige, this, that, and the third. I'm just going to be smiling and nodding. That's about it. Because I would love to catch that feeling with the Sixers. You know, I got it with the Warriors with that. So well, the silence will be no, it won't be silence. I will definitely give what credit is due, especially if they give Jaylen Brown the MVP, which I definitely believe that if they're looking at how the finals have been played, Jaylen Brown hands down should win the MVP. Don't even consider Tatum. If anybody else, you could kind of say Drew Holiday, but I wouldn't say anybody should win the MVP. It's most definitely Jaylen Brown, hands down. Just by his consistency that he's been playing. But I've seen to where they will not give the right player the MVP, and you're sitting there giving that look like that dude that be making those rap songs, and you just look at his face. He's making those faces. Yeah.
Well, hi, I'm back. Did I miss anything?
Oh no, we were just talking about
as technology
Brown.
as technology really wants to just irritate me to the gills. But nonetheless, okay. So now, as we're switching on to the sweet science, so Boots Ennis has a date. Oh, he's going to fight in Philadelphia. Okay, so
Nice.
Jerome Boots Ennis will now defend his IBF welterweight title against David, against a last name I'm not going to try and pronounce, July 13th in Philadelphia, according to Matchroom Boxing. Of course, he is stepping in to replace mandatory challenger Cody Crowley, who withdrew last week as he was not medically cleared following double eye surgery in November. So David is a 35-year-old Russian native. He is ranked in ESPN's number 8th welterweight. He returns in November with last time he fought, he had a 4th round TKO against an 11-55 journeyman. His first fight since he was knocked out by Terrence Crawford back in December of 2022. So there you have it. So Boots Ennis fighting or defending his championship. Now, of course, here's something I really want to ask, and we've asked the question of why, but whoa, wait a minute. He's gonna try to fight for a title, really?
You talking about Pacquiao?
Yes. I thought this was an exhibition. This man is really trying to fight for a belt. What? So Manny Pacquiao is trying to fight WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios, trying to fight in Las Vegas in the fall, according to Manny Pacquiao Promotions president Sean Gibbons, who told this to ESPN. Pacquiao, who is 45, he has not fought or he has not competed since he lost to Yordanis Ugas in August of 2021. He is a former senator in the Philippines. He served for 6 years, and he is expected to seek re-election next year, but he wants to finalize one final fight, to which I don't understand why.
Now, how does he have the right to sit and to go for that title when he has not been boxing as that often? What about the other ones in that division that should have the ultimate right? That's not right.
It grinds my gears. It really grinds my gears. But of course, Pacquiao is 62-8-2 with 39 KOs. He tried to attempt to obtain a special exemption in the Olympics this summer in Paris, but the IOC denied his request because he's, of course, the limit that you can do that is 40 years old, and Pacquiao is 45. So his loss to Floyd in 2015 is still the highest grossing fight of all time, making a revenue. Of course, Terrence Crawford was named as you know. Bud was unified the welterweight title, but of course has not been able to fight since he defeated Earl Spence Jr. in his last fight for that. So Bud is going up to 154 and looking to perhaps be that division's champion. So that just
which he probably would, because nobody wants to fight him. Oops.
Yeah, the man has to beg for fights.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that in boxing. It's unheard of.
You and me both, but we do have some. Okay, just leave me alone. Let me read the schedule, people. Come on, all right. That's what we're trying to do here. All right, so we got there's a lot happening this upcoming Saturday. Got fights in Puerto Rico. Got fights in Vegas. Got fights in London.
Another trip around the world with Dub's Internet. Welcome back to the solo edition of the Mizzle and Dub Show. Hi, I'm Mizzle. We didn't talk about the Giants. They got a victory today, so that's pretty good. As you see that. Go on, man! Don't make me laugh. But I set myself up for that one. Don't make me laugh. But now, Come on, man. No, but this is what happens when you have a live show and you don't do no pre-recorded stuff. Things tend to happen like this. This is about I can count on both my hands and my feet, my toes about how many times that we probably went through this on with his internet. So I do hope you do go get that router. But just to be fair, I think you should just have your phone on backup so you can just pop right in if that happens. Just saying. That's what I would do if I was having that issue. It's not about me. But yeah, the Giants took care of business today in the day game. I believe they won 5-3. Duvall came there and took care of business. I believe it was Logan Webb who got the W. I can't wait for June is over when it comes to the Giants because it seems like they have taken on the moniker when it comes to the June swoon. They just cannot find a way to play good baseball in June or when the All-Star break comes around or after the All-Star break. So it's good to see them get a W. So hopefully they're climbing up in the rankings. Let's see what we got. Man, this is crazy. Man, you got to really go get that router, man. You definitely have to go get that router. Because you were talking about boxing. See, oh yes, we do have boxing on Peacock, which is coming up. There was a video that went out today of Tank Davis making Martin flinch. Not too much to read in that. I hope Martin is coming. Okay, yes, thank you. Webb got the win, so that makes me feel better that I got that facts out there. And as much as I don't like to talk about this team, but the Yankees are just playing some darn good baseball right now. It's like, but they play this way in the regular season, and then when it comes to the games, when it really counts, they forget how to play baseball. So let's see how they play if they can continue to play this way and make it. Wait a minute. They got Grimace throwing the. Excuse me. I just saw, ladies and gentlemen, Grimace through the first pitch in the baseball game. I pretty much have seen it all. Yes, Grimace throwing a baseball. That should not happen. You should at least have the Hamburglar out there or something like that. Stealing bases, but Grimace throwing the baseball. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. That does not sit. That does not sit well with me. But I welcome to 212, where we were sitting here talking about the Mavericks and the Boston Celtics, as the Celtics are one win away from hoisting number 18, which, as of course, I've said numerous times that I'm not too much happy about that, but that's going to happen. That's what we're going to talk about. Before my co-host lost his feed, we were talking about boxing that was coming up. We got the Tank Davis versus Frank Martin fight, which I think should be good, but I do believe Tank will take this one. What round? I don't know. I hope they give me a good distance fight. I mean, not leave it with the refs, but don't end it too soon because not the refs. Don't leave it with the judges. Excuse me for not speaking proper on that one. But do not leave it in the judges' hands because that is not good with anything. So I'm hoping that maybe it gives me maybe 9 good rounds of boxing, and if somebody wants to decide to go ahead and take that fight, go for it. Don't give me like 4 rounds and then somebody goes down because this has a potential to be a pretty dandy fight. Both fighters are pretty good, but the thing is, I believe. Oh, I did not know that we were having a special guest as I see that he was popping in as right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, wow, Dub gets his stuff together, and it must have been, you know what? I will say this. God is always good because how I was just talking about boxing and Kevin Perry comes on who talks about boxing with us, who has great insight and good intel when it comes to fights that's coming up. And then his name pops up as I sit here and talk about this Tank Davis and Frank Martin fight. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again, a frequent guest on the show, Mr. Kevin Perry. Sir.
Hey, what's happening?
Man, how you doing, man? And you came in right on time as I just went into a segue into boxing, and boom, you just come right in. So it must have been meant for us to get to this topic or in the subject.
Word. Thanks for having me on.
Man, you already know. Anytime.
Yeah, love to talk boxing with you guys, and you know, try to come and bless your show if possible.
Oh, of course. But I was leading in with the Tank Davis and Martin fight. What's your what do you got on that, and how you feel about that one?
Um, well, actually, first thing I'll say is doesn't appear to be like a whole lot of buzz around the fight.
Hundred
Not
percent.
what the well, I guess I kind of do know somewhat what the reasoning is. Doesn't seem like they've really promoted it all that well. I don't know if just for whoever's listening or whatnot, this fight is it's on Amazon Prime. I guess that's kind of the new platform that PBC is on.
Yes.
PBC is hosting the pay-per-view along with was it uh, T TCB Promotions or TBC? I can't remember. Which is Tom Brown's company, 10 Geek Boxing. Um,
Yes.
they're the promoters of the show, the main promoter of the show, along with Errol Spence Promotions. He promotes Frank Martin. PBC is who Tank Davis is with.
Yes.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like Amazon is really kind of putting a lot of, I guess, resources into promoting these events. They're kind of just giving them a platform uh, for the pay per view,
Mm-hmm.
and that's about it. So, I mean, I don't have Amazon Prime. Actually, my wife has Amazon Prime, but I don't really watch video content on there, so I don't know if it's been promoted heavily, but through that platform. But it just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of buzz. I was watching the press conference earlier today, actually through Sean Porter's uh, podcast. He was actually at the press conference, and they kind of made a comment that there's not a lot of people here.
Mm.
Actually, it was funny because I work in the entertainment industry, so I do work like live events, and I freelance. I was actually asked to work to do the setup for the media event, but it was like an 11:30 show, 11:30 p.m. show call, so I turned it down. Um, but yeah, it's just not a lot of buzz. But it's a good fight. I mean, it's definitely a good fight on paper. Both guys haven't fought in over a year, I believe, so there's some ring rust for both guys. Um, but initially, I don't want to go on too long on that tangent, but that's my initial thoughts. My initial thought was there's just not a whole lot of buzz.
I've been seeing a
Is
lot
that
more of it. I've been seeing a lot of it promoted on Facebook more than anything else. Like when I turn on my Fire Stick in the morning, they do have a little ad running for that. But I'm mainly been seeing it on promoted on Facebook. I didn't even know it was going to be on Amazon until Dub told me about mentioned that.
now?
I
Is
thought
that
I didn't know
because you
that.
now KP? Which, by the way, thank you for coming on. We appreciate the time as always, and always good to talk to you. Do you think that's one reason why it's being held at the MGM Grand and not T-Mobile Arena, because there's not a lot of talk about this fight?
Um, I don't know. Maybe there was some uh, other events that were kind of already scheduled for around that time at T-Mobile, so there's probably a scheduling conflict that probably led to it being at MGM Grand. I mean, that's my assumption. Um, that's probably why it's at MGM Grand. And MGM Grand is generally hosted. They've hosted a lot of boxing events, and I think So I don't believe it has anything to do with that. I just think it was from a scheduling standpoint. The date that they wanted probably was not available. Um, for that particular date at T-Mobile.
All right. Now, what do you think is going to happen with this newest situation that involves Ryan Garcia for vandalism in Beverly Hills?
Oh, yeah.
What do we make of this? The whole Ryan Garcia situation of vandalizing in Beverly Hills. What do we make of this whole entire situation of what happened in Beverly Hills?
I don't make anything of it. I think it's just typical Ryan Garcia. I heard the charges are very minimal. I think he's gonna get probably pay a fine or something. I mean, I actually, it was funny because I was kind of talking about it a few days ago. I think I just made a mention to my wife, and I was saying, this little incident that went on. I don't know if it's a publicity stunt necessarily, because I really don't think it was. So, for example, this little thing that he did, which I don't know specifically what happened. There's different reports or whatnot, but just say he pays a $20,000 fine, okay, for this whole thing that it doesn't do any jail time, or it doesn't go on his record or anything like that, or it's a minor offense. It's got people talking, so it's like he paid just say $20,000 for a bunch of publicity and keeps his name relevant, whether it's good or bad. There's relevancy. He's been pretty much kept his name in the headlines ever since that fight with Devin Haney. It's the whole performance enhancing drugs, the positive drug tests and all that. Now this thing occurred. He gets attention of the public, and really
I see it that way.
He's what people are talking about, whether it's good or bad. So in that sense, I guess you could say it's a positive. I don't know. I don't think a lot of the people really necessarily care for Ryan Garcia, the people who are not his fans, but they're talking about him. We're talking about him, and he doesn't really have any fights scheduled necessarily. So it's funny because, we were just talking about Tank Davis and Martin, okay, and then Double A came on, and the first question was about Ryan Garcia, so he didn't even address what we were talking about. So I guess that tells you everything. This guy somehow knows how to capture the imagination of people, regardless of whether it's good or bad. He's in the headlines, and that's probably you'll probably see something about it on ESPN, which normally when it comes to boxing, they rarely ever cover it. So,
well, yeah, he's a big topic because they're not even mentioning right now about the fight with Martin and Tank Davis that's coming up, which should be a good fight.
You'll hear in the next day or so. I'm sure you'll hear Stephen A. Smith talk about it, because he is, I guess you could say, a boxing fan. But he doesn't really. When I listen to him talk about boxing, he really doesn't, for the most part. He doesn't. His boxing knowledge doesn't impress me, to say the least. But he does give it some airtime, so I got to give him respect for that.
I'm gonna say, how much does he really know? Maybe basketball. Maybe he can talk more about that.
I think he. Well, the thing is, he obviously likes the sport of boxing. No one can question that. But his actual knowledge about boxing, I don't think he's really. He probably doesn't understand the nuances. I don't know how much of the boxing business he really has an understanding of. He's kind of he's a casual fan of boxing, to say the least.
Yeah, just like he probably can't speak about it, the MMA, or he goes to the UFC. He's just a person that's just gonna talk about, because he has a platform, and he's sports, so he's gonna talk about any and everything. So, but yeah, I don't know. Ryan Garcia does a very good job. He comes in with the New York pissed
that
off beat.
that internet, huh?
Yeah. Now you have no
Big,
volume.
big time.
There we go. There we go. Now we can hear you.
I'm going to shoot technology tonight. That's all. That's what I do now.
No shot fires, man.
Hey, you know
No
what I
pop.
noticed works double A? Like if you're having internet problems, just go to like the avatar, and then that way you won't keep getting kicked out. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm on a different unit right now. I've said screw the laptop. I am now on the iPad, so that's where I'm at right now.
Okay. But yeah. So let's can we go back to the Frank Martin or is that
Yes.
just that what you guys wanted to talk about? The
Yes,
Frank.
the floor is yours on that fight,
Floor is
brother.
yours.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
we definitely wanted your you to speak on that fight. So yeah, definitely we can go back to it. It's all yours.
Anything specific you want to ask me about the card overall, or because you know I can kind of go on a soapbox, but I don't really want to do that. So
No,
Well,
brother. If you want to give us everything that you got when it comes to this whole card and the fight, if we'll chime in and ask a question here or there, but pretty much, man, just yeah, bless us with what you know, and what you how you feel about this fighting card.
well, my first question would be: is what does Frank Martin have to do to have a puncher's chance to get the upset?
Yes, that is a good question.
I don't think he needed puncher's chance. I think he just needs to just outbox him. I mean, that's really. I mean, you've seen Tank Davis's fights. He can be outboxed. His power,
Mhm.
his power is like the equalizer. It bails him out. Um, he's not somebody who throws a whole lot of punches, so he can be outboxed. And I think a factor too. I mean, it could be a negative or a positive, but it's something that probably Frank Martin can take advantage of. But obviously, it kind of neutralizes each other. But Frank Martin is, I believe, Frank Martin's a southpaw.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
you got two southpaws fighting each other, so it neutralizes kind of that advantage that usually southpaw will have over orthodox fighter. So it'll be interesting to see. Um, Tank Davis is not really the greatest boxer. He's a good counterpuncher. But the problem with counterpunching is if you got a good lead hand, which I think Frank Martin does, which is probably a better lead hand than Tank Davis does. Um, and he looks like he's got a little bit more length. If he can keep the fight on the outside and not lunge in and get caught with big shots,
Yeah.
uh, I think he could. His path to victory to me is to try to win by decision, um, and he's got enough pop, I think, to keep Tank Davis a little bit honest. So that's kind of and one thing I actually saw is there was an amateur fight that Frank Martin had with Virgil Ortiz. I don't know if you guys have seen that footage, but he knocked he knocked Virgil Ortiz down. I think he knocked him out in the amateurs. This was a
Oh, damn.
and that's a guy that's fighting at 154 right now. So
Yeah.
if anyone's gonna question Frank Martin's power, he's not like I would say like a one punch knockout puncher, but he got enough power where he hits you, you ain't gonna just be running in on him like you're seeing Tank Davis with some of these other smaller fighters that he's been fighting. He's gonna respect this guy's power, and it's not like we're he's like Raleigh Romero, where when Tank Davis was fighting Raleigh Romero, Romero's defense is so lacking, or his lack of boxing skills, he was a lot easier to set up. So to set up
Yeah.
somebody like Martin is probably going to be a little bit more difficult. Um, the punch to me for Tank Davis, as always, is his right hook. Um, that's kind of the punch that Frank Martin needs to look out for. Um, So, but yeah, just to kind of sum up the question that you asked, Frank Martin doesn't need a puncher's chance to win this fight. His goal is to try to win on points. And I think if he hurts, Tank Davis, he's gonna try to knock him out. I mean, obviously, you're kind of in the other guy's backyard. Essentially, you're the B side. So if he could get a knockout, you take it out of the hand of the judges. So if the opportunity's there, I mean, he's definitely got to go for it. But I think he's stay away from Tank Davis's big shots, and you could probably just outpoint him, outwork him, from a standpoint of who throws more punches or who's busier. Frank Martin definitely kind of throws more volume than Tank Davis.
We are joined by
both
our
counter
friend,
punchers.
We are joined by our good. Go ahead.
No, both guys are natural counter punchers, but I've seen Frank Martin in his last few fights be pretty effective taking the lead, and I think that's kind of what he's got to do at certain times, and then set little traps here and there for Tank Davis to kind of let his hands go, but kind of fall short on his punches, counter him a little bit, but make sure he just got more activity, because the activity or lack of activity from Tank Davis could get him behind in the fight and get him a little desperate, and that's when he could counter him.
For those joining in, we are talking to my good friend and our boxing correspondent, Kevin Perry, which, again, you can catch him on VegasValleyVideo.com and also on Platinum Fights on the YouTube channel, which his latest edition of the KO Nation podcast is currently on there on the Platinum Fights YouTube channel, which, again, he had talked about the fight between Usyk and Fury. And let's talk about that real quick. What do you take away from the fight between Usyk and Fury, to which Usyk did indeed unify the world title by getting a split decision? What was your thoughts from that fight as you look back on it now?
Good close fight. My assessment at the end of the fight, I mean, I don't remember if I scored it round by round. I kind of thought Fury edged it, but have no argument with Usyk winning the decision. Obviously, the knockdown was the difference. That kind of it made it kind of just from not, like, if you weren't scoring it and you had to kind of decide, if you were I guess you were a casual fan, in my mind, you would probably be like, okay, this guy won the fight because he hurt the other guy probably more than Fury hurt him. And the one big moment doesn't necessarily win you a fight, but it was a close enough fight where, if you had it 6-6, that 1 point from the knockdown gives you the fight. So I think I had it probably like, I don't know, a 7-5 for Fury or something, but could have won either. There was a big gap in the middle of the fight where I thought Usyk was doomed, and like the champion he always is, he figures out a way to come back and pull it out. So, yeah. So I mean, it was definitely an entertaining fight. It wasn't the most action packed, but there was a lot of drama like within the fight, a lot of ebb and flow. So, and that's usually what makes a great boxing match. It's just like the how the tides turn, how the tide turned in, I believe, that 9th round when Tyson Fury was seriously hurt. He almost got stopped. And then he kind of made, I guess you would say, I wouldn't say he made a huge comeback, but he survived the onslaught, and he made a good account of himself in the last, 3 rounds. Maybe won the final round. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was a really good, memorable heavyweight fight. It definitely lived up to the hype, and probably exceeded the hype, because sometimes when you put something on a pedestal, it doesn't always live up to it, but that fight definitely
very true.
Facts. Good statement.
Yeah.
Right. Well, like I said, we were talking to our good friend and boxing correspondent Kevin Perry on the Mizzle and Dub Show, episode 212, and as always, we appreciate Kevin's time for joining us. But I know you like to talk basketball, KP. So let me just ask you real quickly: do you think the series is over?
Huh?
Do you think the finals is over now that Boston's up 3-0?
Yeah, I think they're about. Dallas is about to get swept.
Ooh.
I was almost feeling like that before this game, but I was watching it earlier, and once I saw the Celtics were up like in the third or fourth quarter by 20, I believe, or 21, I was like, this game's over. And then I was almost about to turn the TV off because I was like, this is just ridiculous. And then all of a sudden, Dallas made a comeback. But then, as usual, it's just they don't have enough weapons to sustain, whatever they're trying to do. It just seems like they're working so much harder to score than the Celtics. The Celtics, like, they're scoring with just way less effort. You know what I mean? And it's just because Boston just has a better roster. They have a much deeper squad of talent than the Mavericks. And I think if it's just Doncic can't do it all himself. And actually, I think what was something that I thought of before the series started. Because I watch teams when they play Luka against Luka, and he's a great passer. And I think this is exactly what Boston's been doing. Is they're not double teaming Doncic at all. Really, they're kind of playing him straight up. They're playing man. They're not putting two guys. No double teams. They're letting him get his points, but they're not allowing him to free up opportunities and get the other players on the team in a rhythm. Excuse me. And I think that's the strategy that's winning them the series. I really think it's the defensive strategy. This game, I mean, they shot lights out amazing. The last game, they didn't shoot so well. They still won. So you really got to look at it. It's the defense. It's the defense is what's winning them this series. And they've been stopping Kyrie Irving also. And you've seen a lot of one-on-one basketball from Dallas. And that's not going to win a series. It's just not. Not against Boston anymore.
No, Boston's team defense has been outstanding. More so,
big facts.
More so, Drew Holiday one-on-one. But again, even though Kyrie was fantastic tonight, Luka fouls out. But again, what more can you say about Jaylen Brown, who struggled mightily in the first half, comes back and scores 24 in the second half to have 31 for the game, as Tatum and Brown combined for 61. Again, as the Boston Celtics are on the cusp of winning their 18th title in franchise history with a 106-99 win. KP, if you are Dallas, what could you possibly do on Friday to possibly send this back to Boston for a Game 5 on Monday?
Good question, Joe.
To avoid not getting swept. What does Jason Kidd try to? I don't want to say dial up, because you can dial up X and O, but just what do you think Jason Kidd will say to his team on Friday to avoid not having the Celtics pour champagne on their floor?
I don't know. Pray that Porzingis is not playing on Friday. Well, they didn't win. They didn't win today either, and they didn't have Porzingis.
Right.
I think probably you got to not more. Well, obviously more ball movement, but I think the biggest thing is more movement on offense from the players who are off the ball. There's no movement. Everybody's just kind of standing there, just waiting around for somebody to do something. You got to create offense. When you don't have the ball in your hand, you got to be moving. You got to try to find openings so you can get the ball in. There's just no movement from the players. It's like they're just watching Doncic dribble the ball. They're waiting for somebody to double team Doncic so they could be open. You
Mm-hmm.
got to
Mm-hmm.
move. You got to get the defensive players out of position, and that's really that's really the only thing they could do because you're seeing that's what the Celtics are doing, and it's very effective. But you see, once the Celtics start playing this ISO ball, it's not as effective. So
Yes.
just look at that from because even when Dallas made that 17-2 run, that's what the Celtics were doing, throwing up bad shots. Um, not moving without the ball at all, just kind of playing out of it's almost like you get a big lead and you forgot what got you there. And I just don't see
Facts.
it.
Facts.
And that's kind of what occurred there. So
Great analogy. That's yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
some good stuff. That's some real good stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so not only do we have, well, now switching back to the to Sweet Science because there's plenty of fights coming up on the 15th of
Yeah. We even got boxing
June.
on Peacock.
Yeah, so how do you feel about the IBF Junior Welterweight title match between Matthias and Paro in Puerto Rico
Yes.
that you can catch on DAZN?
Yes. Nice.
I've only seen Paro once, and actually I think I just saw highlights of it. So I think I've maybe seen him twice. Decent fighter. He's got good pop. Um, some good fundamental. I wouldn't even say good fundamentals. He's a tricky fighter. He's decent boxer. Nothing that jumps out at you that makes you think he can beat Subriel Matias, but he can punch a little bit, and Matias is always right in front of you, so that makes the fight pretty interesting. Just because Matias is not hard to find, but to beat that guy, you got to fight him. I mean, you really got to hurt him to really get the guy's respect and stop him from coming. Stay on the outside. Don't let him get inside, get those body shots on you, and just overwhelm you. So, um, I'm just concerned about the durability of Paro. Is he going to be able to stay in there after 6, 7 rounds and take it into the later rounds where he has a chance to, put some hurt on Matias, and maybe Matias will start running out of steam as the fight goes on because yet we haven't really seen Matias go 12 rounds a lot of times. Most of his fights are, over within 6, 7 rounds. So you got to make sure you can survive to the later rounds and see what he has and see if you can kind of walk him into something. Um, that's really his shot. But um, if he's durable, he's got a chance. I just don't know what his durability's like. I'm not really too familiar with him all that much. I've only seen a couple of his fights, so.
Okay.
Uh, but he's capable. I just don't know if he's on the level of Subriel Matias. I mean, he's a monster. So.
All right. Well, how do you see jumping a week ahead? How do you see next Friday, the 21st, as Rafael Espinosa Sanchez takes on Sergio Chirino, which also is taking place here in Vegas, which is going to be on ESPN at Fontainebleau.
Well, I'm not familiar with the opponent. I'm familiar with Rafael Espinosa. He's the fighter that beat the Cuban fighter to win that title. He's that tall, lanky, 126-pounder, correct?
Well, it is a world featherweight title match that's coming up on the 21st.
Yeah, Espinosa, I believe, is like a 6'1" featherweight. He's lanky, can punch a little bit. Pretty good-looking fighter. His defense is a little suspect, but he's a good fighter. I'm not familiar with his opponent, but I think this is just kind of like I'm assuming this is just a showcase fight because I'm not familiar with the opponent. This is just a fight to kind of get this guy a little bit more exposure. ESPN card, um, you know, that the casino basically paid for. Casino site fee where they're going to give away a gang of tickets because this guy has no. I mean, he's not a ticket seller. Obviously he's fighting at Fontainebleau in Las Vegas. He's pretty much he won that upset fight. So they're just gonna try to build this guy because obviously there's a Mexican fan base out there to kind of build this guy on. But
Correct.
this is the fight to get him some exposure on television, further exposure, and then probably down the road we'll see him in a unification fight with one of these other champions at 126. They got this fighter at 126. That IBF champ is another Mexican fighter, Benito Lopez. The other is Nick
Heard that name.
won the WBA featherweight title on the Usyk and Fury, or not? Wasn't the Usyk Fury undercard? It was the 5 versus 5 undercard from last weekend. Undercard of the Zhang and Wilder fight. Nick Ball is a good, gritty, TV-friendly fighter that you could put him in with anybody, and it's a fan-friendly fight. So, there's some good potential fights at 126. But just to go back, this fight on Friday or the following Friday with Espinoza, this is just a showcase fight for the Mexican native.
Now, speaking of Wilder that you just mentioned,
I know. I was just going to ask you about how you felt about the Wilder fight too. You kind of segued into what the next thing I wanted to talk about. But yeah, go ahead, Deb.
Is it time perhaps for the Bomb Squad? Do you think it's time for the Bronze Bomber to hang up the gloves and call it a career? Because obviously, he hasn't been the same fighter, and I kind of made this analogy on one of our last shows that we did, but it just seems like, and I made the comparison to when Mike Tyson got rid of Kevin Rooney, and really Tyson wasn't the same fighter after that. It just seems like ever since he basically kicked Mark Breland to the curb, it seemed like Wilder kind of lost his way in the ring. Is that a fair assessment? What's your thoughts on that?
Another good question, Deb.
I don't know. I mean, I think you can make that assessment, but at the same time, I mean, Wilder is who he is. I mean, he's never really been a great boxer.
Good point.
I don't think he should have got rid of Mark Breland. I mean, him blaming Mark Breland for, saving him from taking a further beating in that rematch.
Correct.
I think that was unwarranted. But I don't think keeping Mark Breland necessarily was gonna make him a better fighter, because at that point he is who he's always been. His power just bails him out. He usually when he fights a good fighter, he usually loses a lot of rounds, and then he can end the fight at any moment. And then
King Kong Ortiz comes to mind.
Yeah,
big time, Doug. Yeah, big time.
When a guy scores a devastating knockout, there's this podcast I listen to. This guy's name's Richard Dwyer. So I just want to kind of go by. I don't want to say that this is my quote, but he's got a website. It's called Dwyer Boxing, or it's gamblersadvisory.com. But he says he says knockouts cause amnesia. So essentially what that means is when Wilder knocks these guys out cold, you just forget about the rest of the fight where he wasn't really doing a whole lot and getting out boxed. But then when he scores a knockout, that's all you focus on. He's pretty much the same guy he's always been. The only difference now is because he's been knocked out a couple of times, and he's taking some damage. He's kind of scared to pull the trigger. I mean, that's just kind of what I'm seeing. He is a little bit older. He's had a lot of fights. He's just kind of fighting to get paid. I mean, at this point, that's what it comes down to. Will he fight again? If the money's right, I say yes. And he's obviously he's very prideful.
Indeed, yeah. Yes, very so.
He's not a fighter that really gets in a whole lot of slugfests. I mean, obviously the fights with Tyson Fury, the last two, he really did take a lot of punishment. Um, the Joseph Parker fight, he looked really bad, but he didn't take a ton of punishment that fight. And the Zhang fight, he didn't take a ton of punishment. He just got knocked out. I mean, it was pretty
Yeah.
much he didn't take any damage except for when he hit the canvas. That's all the damage he took. So it's not like he was taking a ton of punches. I think depending on who the opponent is, I think they might bring him back. I mean, maybe it'll be like I don't know. Just I think Andy Ruiz is fighting. I believe in July on the or on
Is he now?
part of Terrence Crawford and Israel Madrimov. Maybe
okay.
So maybe if Andy Ruiz wins the fight against Big Baby Miller, maybe they'll put Deontay Wilder in with Andy Ruiz or something. That might be a fight where Andy Ruiz is like, okay, this is a good fight for me, just because he's been somewhat inactive. It's still a fight that probably you could sell, and it'll be a pretty good payday for Deontay Wilder just to kind of go out with another big payday. So that's kind of my thoughts on him. But as far as him being a serious contender at heavyweight, I think those days have kind of come and gone.
So let me ask this question, getting back to Alexander Usyk. Him beating Fury, what kind of area does that put Anthony Joshua in?
Ooh. Yeah.
I think that's something we could talk about after the rematch with Tyson Fury and Usyk and see how that goes, and then obviously I think they're gonna put Joshua in with Daniel Dubois. So, and that's definitely not an easy fight for Joshua. I mean, Joshua is definitely favored, but Dubois is, he's definitely a credible opponent. He's one of the top maybe 6 or 7 heavyweights out there. So that's a very interesting fight. 2 British guys. It's going to be a pretty big fight in England, and Dubois is only 26, so he's still young, fresh. He's still learning. So that's not an easy fight for Joshua at all.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I guess right now, my question would be, outside from the obvious fight that we want to see, what fight as a fan do you want to see, KP?
I'm sorry, repeat yourself?
I said outside of the obvious fight that boxing fans want to see, what fight is it that's out there that you would like to see that has not happened yet?
Interesting. I'd like to see. Well, there's a few fights. Actually, there's one fight that I think I'd really love to see. Subriel Matias against Isaac Cruz. I think
yes,
that's a great fight. And they're both champions at 140. It's not a huge money fight, but it's definitely it's really a really good fan-friendly fight for hardcore boxing fans. I'd like to see that one. If Tank Davis could beat Frank Martin on Saturday, which is no gimme fight, I'm actually leaning towards Frank Martin, to be honest with you. But
okay.
Oh, well.
Okay.
All right.
But
I'm not going against your judgment, brother. Definitely not doing that.
Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis. That's one I'd like.
Baltimore against New Jersey. That would be something.
Don't get my blood pumping on that one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily like going to be an exciting fight, but it's definitely an interesting, intriguing fight between 2 of the top 10 or 15 fighters and obviously 2 of the top the 2 best lightweights probably. Maybe Tank against Vasily Lomachenko. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Lomachenko looked really good against George Kambosos.
You did.
I
You
know
really
I
did.
know with George Kambosos, he's kind of slipping, but yeah, I mean that's definitely a fight I'd like to see also, and I think it's a fight that Tank would probably be willing to take just because in his mind he's like, okay, I'm fighting, older fighter, and he's probably gonna look at it as kind of like a gimme fight to him, but there's no gimme fights when it comes to fighting Vasyl Lomachenko.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask this question: Why do people not want to fight Terrence Bud Crawford? Like, what's
Thank you. Good.
what's the
Thank
issue
you.
with that? What's the issue with that?
Well, which people are you referring to? Is this just like people in the past,
Just
or?
no. Well, I mean, just fighters in general. Like, why does he have to always scratch and claw to get somebody to fight him?
I think it's more because he's not like a huge name, so it's not like a situation where they're chasing Canelo because there's big money.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Terrence Crawford is not a big money. You're not gonna make a lot of money fighting Terrence Crawford, and you're probably gonna get
Mm.
so. I mean, he's just a difficult style. And the thing is, he could punch, but he's not a brawler. So it's not a situation where he's going to leave you a lot of openings where you can kind of capitalize on. He's a difficult style. I mean, he's probably the smartest fighter in boxing, and he can punch. So it's not an opponent where you're going to feel confident that you're going to win. I think that's what it comes down to. And usually fighters, if they're going to fight a fight that they think in their mind got the greatest odds of winning, they're going to want to get paid. And that's what it comes down to is you fight to get paid, not for honor, not for pride. The number one thing is to make money to feed your family. And
Correct.
take that butt whipping, you want to get paid for it.
Very good point. Very, very, very good point. But once again, fans, we are talking to our boxing correspondent and our very good friend, Mr. Kevin Perry. Always great to have him on the Mizzle and Dove Show. Because you can always.
It's actually funny. I'm gonna bring something up. So
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, go for it.
just a food for thought here. So Terrence Crawford fought Kell Brook, and Kell Brook also fought Triple G, who is I don't know if you guys remember that fight with Triple G.
Well, I do.
When he moved up 2 weight classes to fight Triple G, and he made a good account of himself, but he got stopped. A few years later, he fought Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford knocked him out. And he said that he had never been hit that hard in his life, and that's when he fought Terrence Crawford. And he got knocked out against Triple G, one of the hardest punchers in probably the last 10, 15 years in boxing. And Terrence Crawford, who's not a middleweight, he's a smaller guy moving up, started his career at about 135 pounds. And when he knocked out Kell Brook, he said he'd never been hit that hard in his life. So Terrence Crawford, there's just something about when he hits guys, it's the accuracy. They don't the punching when you don't see them. Those are the ones that usually hurt the most. And he can fight orthodox, he can fight southpaw. Usually fights in the southpaw stance. I think more because when he fights in the southpaw stance, he's usually doesn't get hit as much. And I think that's why he prefers to fight in that stance. But when he fights orthodox, he's a little bit more offensive when he fights from the orthodox
Very interesting.
What do you think is next for Canelo?
Good question.
I'm hearing possibly Terrence Crawford. I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure. They're talking about, Benavidez is talking to the Saudis to try to see if they can get the bag for Canelo to try to get that right. But Beyond those two guys, I just don't. I don't think there's any fights that are out there that people are really gonna buy anymore. I mean, they're just his. I don't know if his back is against the wall, but he's not. He's not gonna get $35 million to fight Edgar Berlanga or anybody on that level. He's really got to fight the fight that the fans are the fighters that the fans want to see him fight at this point. You know, he fought Jaime Munguia, which was a good opponent, but
not the fans he wanted.
Kind of tailor made for Canelo in a way. You know, not great defensively. Has lapses of concentration where he can be hit. Not the biggest puncher, just more of a volume, kind of brawler style that's tailor-made for Canelo. Before that, he fought Charlo, who was moving up from 154, who just came to kind of get a paycheck. Before that, he fought John Ryder, I believe, John Ryder, who is, you know, European level at best. I guess you could maybe say he's world class, but he's never really beaten any world class fighters, at least none in their prime. Before that, he fought Triple G, who's about 40 years old, moving up from 160 to 168. So yes. I mean, I think at this point, I mean, you can't really line up any more gimmies if you want to say that what those fights were gimme fight. You got to fight Benavidez
or Crawford,
but even Crawford fight, I mean, he already said that he doesn't even want to fight Crawford because he's not going to get any credit if he beats Crawford. So that's I don't know.
I don't know. Really? Because I think if he does fight someone of the caliber of Benavidez or Crawford and he happens to win, I think that will kind of just my opinion on that one, especially Benavidez, because Benavidez is a good opponent for him.
Well, yeah, we know Benavidez is a good opponent. I'm not disputing that. Terrence Crawford, Canelo basically kind of sidestepped that fight and said, "Well, I don't want to fight that guy because if I beat him, nobody's going to give me credit because essentially the guy's moving up technically." I mean, I know his next fight's going to be at 154, but it's another situation where he's asking a guy to move up like 2 or 3 weight classes.
Okay.
So that's a situation where, but obviously comes down to money. I mean, they give him a huge bag. Then I mean, I don't think he's going to turn it down. But he doesn't seem all that interested in fighting Terrence Crawford. But we'll see.
Oh, okay. That puts a lot of things in perspective.
It really does. It really, really does. Once again, we are talking to our good friend and boxing correspondent insider, Mr. Kevin Perry, which again, catch him on the Platinum Fights YouTube channel, and his latest episode of the KO Nation podcast, episode 41, is on the Platinum Fights YouTube channel. Please subscribe, as Kevin gives you very good insight into the world of boxing and gives great interviews.
As you just heard.
as you just heard. We all get a little boxing education when KP comes on and drops down the knowledge, to which we always appreciate it.
Damn sure.
I think I've promoted his YouTube channel, which again, go subscribe. Please subscribe to Platinum Fights YouTube channel on YouTube. Please subscribe. If you love the sweet science of boxing, or if you want to have lessons of the sweet science, KP's got some. Yes, sir.
No. I was saying I like boxing. That was me just agreeing to what you were speaking on.
Yeah.
There was no interruption. I'm sorry.
No. We definitely both like boxing. That's for doggone sure. That definitely does not go against anything. But
So let me switch it up just real quick. So I'm just gonna ask you guys. Got to run in maybe maybe you got about another 5 minutes or so with you guys.
We'll hold
Um,
it down. Let's go.
but who do you guys like on Saturday? Or you guys didn't even discuss the undercard with David Benavidez and Alexander Vodzik.
We have not. No.
We have not. So let's take the five. This is what as they do on the our idol show where they have 5 great minutes. So if we have 5 great minutes with you, let's finish it off with 5 great minutes. So let's go.
But I just wanted to ask you guys real quick about who do you like on Saturday for Tank and Frank?
The analogies that you've made
Right?
almost make me want to sway my decision.
Right?
What you're saying is some good stuff because Martin is a good fighter. But for me, I've always lived by the moniker until somebody can crack the code. I will stick with the undefeated fighter. Although I will say this: if Tank wins, I'm gonna say it's gonna be by a split decision.
So well, you got to remember this too. Both guys are undefeated.
Oh, so somebody's always gonna go. Okay.
Yes, well, somebody. Yes.
Somebody's. Oh, we'll go. Well, I'm still going to ride with Tank, although I'm still saying it will still be a split decision victory. But if Martin pulls, what would be? I mean, some people might consider it to be an upset, but if Martin wins, would it shock me? No, it wouldn't. But I'm going to say.
I'll look at it this.
Go ahead.
I'll look at it this way. So you said you got Tank by split decision. Mm-hmm. I think if the fight is close, I don't think Martin's gonna win it. I think if he's gonna win the fight, he's got to win pretty clear cut. I mean, it's got to be really decisive if he's gonna get a decision over Tank Davis.
That's the route I was going. As for me, I was gonna say Tank. Well, my decision before you came on the show and you dropped that great, tremendous knowledge, and we appreciate that. It was gonna say because Tank can take a punch and still deliver a punch, if that makes some sense. And then when he takes that punch, his punch that he throws is a little more stronger than his opponent's punch. But the analogy that you said a little earlier got me thinking like Frank Martin also can deliver a little bit as the same.
Well, so, yeah, I agree with you there. My assessment is Frank Martin doesn't want to be getting into too many big exchanges.
Big facts.
Davis, and I think that's his path to victory. And I think if you hurt Tank Davis early, I don't think you don't get too greedy. You know, maybe later you take some more chances, but you know what Tank's trying to do is he's trying to just kind of draw you into making mistakes and
embarrass you after that.
If you get you hurt, he's good at finishing you. But the thing is, Tank Davis is not. He's not a points fighter. So if you stick to whatever the game plan, I think you can beat him on points. But obviously nobody's been able to do that. So if you're picking Tank, that's a lot. I mean, it's a logical choice, but I mean, it's a difficult fight because
I like that. I like when I can't sit here and pick the fighter that I really want to just win this fight, because that means in my mind that this fight should be good, and it should go a few rounds. I mean, if you had to pick a round where it could possibly end early without going a distance, what round would you think this fight could end? From either fighter.
Question.
It doesn't matter.
Good question.
From either fighter.
I don't know, maybe 5 or 6.
That's exactly where I was thinking, KP. That's exactly where I was thinking too. With either fighter. But I would love at least give me maybe good 9-10. I would love a 9-10. And if somebody decides they want to put it away around that time, I'll be very impressed with that fight. But I could see where you could see 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think it just kind of depends on the type of style that Frank Martin decides to kind of go in with. I just don't think he should try to get a little like too greedy. But who knows? Maybe he's gonna go in there with a lot of confidence and be like, you know what? To beat this guy, I got to dog him. So you just do. You don't really know what the thing is no one really knows like what they trained for, what their strategy was in the gym, and obviously, they're not going out giving their tactics away.
Yeah.
So that's really what interests me is what tactics Frank Martin's gonna have. I think I have an idea of what Tank Davis is gonna do because he kind of usually fights pretty similar in most of his fights, except for the the fight with Isak Cruz. He kind of
Mm-hmm.
was to fight a little bit more than he normally does. He was forced to throw a lot more punches to kind of keep Isak Cruz off of him because Isak Cruz takes a good shot. He took everything that Tank Davis was throwing at him and just kept coming. And Tank
Yeah.
Davis kind of to fight maybe a little bit busier than he normally is. So that actually might be an approach that Frank Martin might do. Maybe Frank Martin's, and I was listening to something today where they had a sparring session and they were arguing about it at the press conference, and uh, there was footage of it, I guess, and Frank Martin said, like I hurt you in sparring and blah blah blah,
Oh.
and Tank Davis was kind of dismissing it a little bit, but from what I understand, I mean, the conversation, I mean, it really seemed to be in Frank's favor, whatever he was
Oh,
saying.
baby.
Yeah. Sparring. I don't know
Yeah.
when
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
it occurred, but um, it's definitely like a little interesting side story to the fight, something, to kind of have
Yeah.
a bit of an opinion on or give you a different outlook on what might occur. So um, I'll say this much: Frank Martin's got a shot, but at the same time, these guys are no dummies. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
very smart about picking their opponents at the right time. Is Frank Martin ready to step up to this level at this time? Probably, but probably maybe needs a couple more fights. But is there really any fighter you could go in there that would prepare you to fight Tank Davis? Not really. So,
No.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess it's the right time for him to step up, and we'll see how he does on Saturday.
Love it. Love it.
All right. All right. Well, KP, as always, we appreciate the time. We appreciate you coming on, giving us some boxing knowledge and talking some
Definitely.
NBA. Once again, please subscribe to the Platinum Fights YouTube channel and check out the KO Nation podcast. Episode number 41 is on there right now. KP, as always, doors always open for you, my friend. Good to hear. Good to talk to you, as always.
All right, guys. Thanks again for having me on.
Always, brother. Appreciate you, man.
All right.
That was Mr. Kevin Perry from Platinum Fights channel on YouTube. Of course, KO Nation podcast, episode 41, currently on there. Please, if you are a fan of boxing, please go subscribe to that YouTube channel. And once again, thank you for chiming in on episode 212 of the Mizzle Dub Show. And it's time to talk NBA with our basketball correspondent and our basketball insider and our very good dear friend, the one, the only, the Tar Heel, Mr. Steve Dugan.
About the only thing we agree on.
Brother, it's always good to have you on the show. Just give me your thoughts on what you saw in Game 3 tonight as the Mavs had a halftime lead of 1 point. Boston's up 21. Mavericks go on the run to get within 3. Luka fouls out, and Jaylen Brown is Jaylen Brown. So, my friend, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you for saying. I didn't get to see the game because I was working kind of late, so I'm catching up on some highlights. But it seems like, as I said, this was Boston's to lose, and they're doing everything they can to make sure they're not losing it. Luka's Luka. It seems like Dallas ain't got enough for everything, so it is what it is. I mean, there's not much. Boston is the better team, and as much as sometimes in the NBA, a great player can really dominate and do some things, you still need some help from some teammates every once in a while to make that dominant player look good. And Luca ain't getting no help. It's one
Nope.
against five, and five usually beats one. So hey,
Well, I'm
I'll
well
say
with that.
gentlemen sweep, and I'll call it a day.
Well, even with
Oh,
that.
so you got one on Friday. Okay.
Well, even with that said, I mean, Kyrie showed up tonight because me and Mizzle both said on previous shows that Kyrie was not going to have 3 consecutive games of shooting like crap,
No.
and he was fantastic tonight. Albeit the fact that Luka Doncic unfortunately fouled out, um, but howbeit, Tatum and Brown each combining for 61 points. I mean, like I said, Kyrie shot tremendous. He was 13-28, had 35 to lead the way for the Dallas Mavericks. But again, the pattern in this series has been 3-point shooting. And Dallas, for the most part, has been the better 3-point shooting team compared to Boston, even though Boston has guys that can hit the three. Obviously, Tatum can shoot it, Brown can shoot it. That's Derek White's specialty. But Dallas has struggled shooting the ball behind the arc. Is that credit to Boston's defense, or is it just Dallas just jacking up way too many threes?
Ooh, like the question.
This is the old saying: you can shoot yourself in a game, you can shoot yourself out of a game, and
Facts.
And when you keep, and in today's NBA, you just keep on jacking up threes instead of like, okay, let's go old fashioned, let's drive, let's do this. And you just keep on shooting up threes, and you keep missing them. It is what it is. So it's great when they're all going in, flying in. It's great, as you guys are Warrior fans, y'all seen it time and time again. But when you hitting that clank, 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 I think Houston, Houston remembers these clank, 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 shooting up 26 threes and only 5 of them going in. You're getting easy layups, you're getting runouts, or you really getting back. You're shooting yourself out. So credit, you can give Boston some D, but hey, I'm gonna let you shoot all these threes if you ain't making them either too. I'm just gonna kind of sit back, give you a little challenge, and shoot away.
Well,
Right?
I asked that because looking at the team stats here, as Boston won Game 3 of the NBA Finals 106-99 and goes up 3-0 in the NBA Finals, which of course Game 4 is coming up on Friday on ABC. But I look at it, but really the difference in this game, I really have to say, is 3-point shooting, given the fact that Boston won by 7. But just to see me out, okay, so 3-point shooting. Boston was 17-46. Mavericks 9-25, but Dallas had more rebounds than Boston. Dallas dominated in points in the paint with the absence of Kristaps Porzingis, who might not even come back in this series. So I look at those two big stats, and I'm saying, well, where did Boston win the game? It seems like they won the game in 3-point shoot because the free throw disparity was +2 for Dallas. Dallas was 14-16 from the line. Boston was 13-14. So that didn't play a factor. So 3-point shooting has been a factor in this series because, I mean, if you go back to Game 1. Dallas was 7 of 27 from 3-point range. Boston 16 of 42, 107, 189. Boston wins. Then we go back to Sunday. Go back to Game 2 with a 6-point victory for the Celtics, 105-98. 3-point shooting. Dallas 6 of 26. Boston 10 of 39. And we just talked about today's stats from beyond the arc. So I'm just saying, if you're Jason Kidd, what strategy do you try to implement to avoid Boston trying to douse champagne on your home court on Friday?
I don't think Dallas has the thing. I mean, this has been Boston's game all year. Like, if you look at some of their losses, it's them probably jacking up threes and not making them. So I don't think their whole thing about Dallas was kind of packing inside the paint a little bit, and because you're not going to outrun us, you're not doing this, and so the one team that's like, oh, you don't want us to go into the paint, you want us to shoot threes, cool. That's exactly what we want to kind of do. We
Yeah.
like that idea. So, and that's what Boston's doing. They're just doing the same game plan because Dallas ain't really made to cover the threes and do all that other stuff. They got those bigs who are, they can move around and do stuff, but it's going to be hard for them to kind of cover and get outside on those threes and everything. Like I said, having Porzingis out is a little bit of a blessing. If Porzingis was in, they really be in trouble. But that's
What's
just
going
the
on?
thing. It's
What's going on,
bad
Oos?
matchup.
What's up, brother?
Oh, baby. What's going on, Ooze? Welcome, welcome,
Yeah,
welcome.
it's just I hate to say it, it's a bad matchup for Dallas. It just happens to be in the NBA Finals.
No,
Yeah.
I mean that's a factual statement. You're absolutely correct on that. Which, by the way, we are talking to our very good friend and our NBA basketball insider, the one and only Mr. Steve Dugan, as he is giving a synopsis from the highlights he has watched on Game 3 of the NBA Finals, which, again, the Boston Celtics stand 48 minutes away from perhaps hoisting up banner number 18 in the parquet floor of the Garden in Boston with a 106-99 victory over the Dallas Mavericks, as Kyrie's 35 was not enough as Luka Doncic fouled out, but it was the steady hand of Jaylen Brown that led the way for the Celtics again, as Brown had 31, or had 30,
Killing
and
it.
Tatum had 31 to lead Boston, as again Boston stands on the precipice of going with their 18th banner to hang in the Garden. Right now, Steve, who is your NBA Finals MVP on the Celtics? Should it end up being the Leprechaun winning? Who would
It
get
seems
the
like it.
who?
It seems
Who would
like
get the bill?
JB Brown's showing why he got the contract so far.
That's
I mean,
exactly what I've been saying. If it's not Jaylen Brown, then they're not looking at this finals. They have not been paying attention.
yeah, it looks like it's his to lose. I mean, you can put Holiday. You can give him a shot at it. You can White might get a chance, but yeah, right now this is Jalen Brown's to lose.
I won't argue
100%.
that. I won't argue that point at all. So, we also want to get your thoughts, Steve, as we had talked about it, but of course today, overshadowed by Game 3 of the Finals was the passing of an NBA icon, of course, whose image you see on the logo of the National Basketball Association. Steve, your thoughts on the Hall of Famer, the absolutely outstanding Mr. Jerry West?
This is what I always say. If I was ever starting up a team, and the first person I go for my GM is Jerry West. You go ahead and have it and build it up. Second would be
Mm-hmm.
Pat Riley, but Jerry West. And it's
Mm-hmm.
one thing it really kind of showed me about Jerry West because being a Laker, you get to LA, it's easy to kind of get free agents and kind of build a team. But when he went to Memphis and built that team up, and even though it wasn't, championship, but he started them from the scratch. And if you knew who Memphis was beforehand, just sitting in the bottom, wasn't doing anything, and got them to be a playoff team, second round. I think they may even got it close to a conference. He built that team. He got Hubie Brown, who no one was thinking. When he did that, I was like, "Oh, you are the man," because you wanted a challenge and you got it. And it
He
wasn't like getting the free agents, wasn't doing this. You were building from this and that. You guys
he.
already know what he did for your Warriors.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
I mean
those rings are not there without him. And
he
Lord, he
built the.
tried with the Clippers. He tried. It's just you made your bed with somebody who is an all-star, great player that just gets injured a lot. But yeah, Jerry West just his GM Hall of Fame. Let's not even talk about his playing career,
Yes.
college, anything else. Just him being a GM like that. That is truly a loss that the NBA will never recover from. That I'll just say that.
Well,
100%.
earlier on this show, I said, with the exception of Red Auerbach, who put together 16 of the 17 Boston banners. Next to Red, I said Jerry West is the greatest basketball executive ever to live. Period. And now, Pat, as you mentioned, Pat Riley has fallen in that same realm because obviously he learned under Jerry when Jerry and Pat was putting Showtime together back in LA during the 80s, which is why, as we always say, heat culture is will because
Hundred
Pat
percent.
Pat implemented that from Mr. West. I'm pretty sure Mr. West is a big reason why Into a Dome got built for the now about to be Inglewood Clippers starting this upcoming fall with that beautiful new arena that's just gonna, man, that arena is just gonna blow
It's
people
gonna kill it.
away. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. But to your point, I mean that nobody has really did it or done it better than the great Jerry West. But I mean, yeah, big
And just
loss.
for some history, just for some history, if people don't know, I mean, you're the Finals MVP on the losing team.
Yes, yes.
The only
The
that would never
only
happen.
one, yeah, we'll never do that again because I
Yeah.
mean, unless somebody just totally blows it out the way. But like I said, that's how good he was that he was named the MVP of the finals and he lost.
Yes.
His team lost. His
Like
team
how, like how do you accept
33
that?
games in a row.
How do you accept that? How do you accept
Oh, he
that
did.
trophy?
I'm sure he did.
Hey, right? I wouldn't know how to accept it.
I mean,
It's
it's a
like
nice
what?
honor, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
what
like
is it?
it's like what do you say? Well, like Mr. West, congratulations, you're the MVP of the finals. We lost the
Fuck,
series.
fuck out of here with that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna think the way that Showtime show showed it, that he threw it away and trashed it up. I'm gonna believe
Yes.
that. He won't admit
Yes.
it to it, but I think that's what he did.
Yes.
I know he didn't like his image on that show, but Jerry, because you that wolf, I think you were like that.
Well, I will say this, just to pinpoint, just to piggyback on what you said. Um, he is the reason Klay Thompson is a Golden State Warrior. He's also the reason why Clay was not traded for Dwight Howard, which would have been a dumb move. But the logo went in and said, "No, no, 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 we're not doing that. No, 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 we're not doing it." And Joe Lacob and Bob Myers had enough horse sense to listen to Mr. West. But just a
Thank
great
goodness.
loss. A great tribute done by Magic Johnson. Great statement put out there by Michael Jordan because we know Michael Jordan revered Jerry West. Talked about for so many years how he would have loved to play against him, and then later on he would have loved to been his teammate. So obviously there is a lot of respect when it comes to the name Jerry West. Like I said, next to Red Auerbach, the greatest basketball executive
No,
ever
see, here,
to
here, here, I'm
live.
gonna say this. Here's the difference why I put Jerry West over Red Auerbach. Red, you didn't deal with free agency. You
Hey,
really did not do.
say
You did not.
less.
Those players stayed on the team, and you drafted this, and you got the regional draft where you can get this person from your region. You didn't. You got to keep those players around and everything else. Jerry West had to deal with free agency. It's nice to build a team, like you said, but now we got to keep them. Can we afford them? Can we do this? Hey, can we do Red? You didn't have to deal with any of that.
Well, but I mean they did go head to head as GMs in three finals in 84, 85, and 87. So I mean they kind of under they I mean obviously free agent wasn't what it is now, but you're absolutely correct on that. But I mean again, you're not wrong putting Jerry West over Red Auerbach, but I it's almost like they're both 1 and 1A or they
Yeah.
both have the emeritus title. For lack of a for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
that's
yeah,
just
like I said, big loss. Like I said, and I know how everybody respected. I think like TNT, like when they were doing the 175 anniversary team, and TNT, they were kind of doing their little thing about who you would draft to, and they had Kenny, Charles, everybody was kind of making their own team, and yeah, Jerry West up on that show making a team. And I looked at all the teams the players made. I was like, and Jerry West got the right team. They were
Now,
even asking him for advice, like, "Hey, Jerry, what about this person? How this?" And Jerry could tell you players from the '60s here, this and that. Okay, yeah, that's what I needed to know.
so who did he end up picking for his team, if you can remember?
Oh, I can't. I would have to go back. I wouldn't remember, but I remember, like I said, they did it up against. So it was like Shaq had to pick a team, Reggie had to pick a team, Kenny, Charles. I think it was Diana Taurasi on there. I want to say it's either Diana or Sue, and then I think Candace Parker, and then you had some of the sideline reporters. It was a big thing. You just got to kind of look into it because they were just preparing for that 75, that All Star, and it was just
Mm-hmm.
like TNT and just here build your team, knowing these were the players that was going to be. It's like we already knew who the players were, and so
So
just build your team off of that.
so now that we know, I mean, it's the worst unkept secret going on right now. But as we know, 2024, 2025 will be the last season of the NBA on TNT, which will be the last season of Inside the NBA, as now Amazon Prime and the NBA returning to NBC, and of course ABC, the Mouse House, still keeping um, the finals. Um, just your initial thoughts on what's going to be the last season of Inside the
No,
NBA, and
nope. They can't do it. That's too much. They just won a sports Emmy. I know I've heard some things like Charles's media companies trying to buy him. There was talk of maybe, giving TNT a couple, games here where you do the crew, maybe you go on to NBA. They so hot. It's no. I know all good things come to an end. I'm an old head. They just won a sports Emmy. Everybody watches them. I don't care what it is. If it ain't on team, they're getting back together somehow. That is called TNT. You have to kind of release that to the public, and for the good of the game, they get to stay on. I don't know how you
Right.
make it. It is. This is yeah. TNT. This was yours. This is now called the NBA owns this. They are staying together. I cannot see it. I hate to say it. If they're not there, I don't even watch highlights anymore. I just Sports Center. I don't pay attention to ESPN's halftime show or this and that.
neither do
In
I.
fact, I
Just
saw
like I
something the
don't.
other day. They said ESPN halftime. They said, okay, one highlight, then commercial break, come back, talked about something for 30 seconds, commercial break, come back, talked about didn't even talk about some little highlight, go back on commercial, and it's back to the game. You had nothing. It's like
That's why I don't
what
watch
is
NFL Countdown. I don't watch nothing. Nothing really. Just I only watch Sports Center, ESPN for Sports Center, and maybe once in a while I'll turn on First Take. I don't too much watch ESPN like or PTI. PTI is always going to be my number one show to turn and watch.
I'll
PTI
do
or PTI or actual games that are playing is the only reason
Are
why
you?
I watch
Well,
ESPN.
yes. Well, yeah.
yeah.
And the
I mean,
and the 30 and the 30 for 30s. That's it.
I'll
That's,
do first take. It's some just to get my morning going.
yep.
PTI, I listen to the podcast because I'm usually at
Right.
work, so I got their little replay on the podcast.
Or
If there's a
items.
game on everything, yeah. If there's a game on there, like you said, 30 for 30. But yeah, but no, your basketball thing. As much as I like some of the people on there on basketball now, yeah, I'd rather sometimes miss. I hate them. I'll miss the games and just try to stay up to see inside the NBA. They'll catch me up on everything. I've been plenty of times. Oh, this game's still on. Okay, yeah, they look like they're gonna win. I'm gonna go ahead and watch something else. And when Inside the NBA is on, now I'm watching.
Yeah, it
Right.
is a great staple of television. But I mean, in one hindsight, I am happy that the NBA is returning to NBC because we get to hear the great John Tesh redo and remaster the theme that is Round
Are,
Ball Rock.
are we? You think we're getting that theme music? You think we're getting it?
No, he was on the Dan Lebitard show, and he said that the league reached out to him, and he says they will go back to the studio and they will remaster Round Ball Rock. Yes, so, so I mean,
Okay. No, okay. You better go. That is the. I mean, at least it's a staple of my youth because I was a '90s kid. I don't know how those other, older heads do, but yeah, that's the NBA for me when I hear that. But
well, well, I mean, I like both themes. I enjoyed the CBS theme in the '80s because I'm old enough to remember it. But of course, for me, in my adolescence and early adulthood, I mean, when you heard Marv Albert or Bob Costas giving that
Oh
tremendous
yeah.
intro to
Oh
to
yeah.
to, to NBC, um,
Yes.
you knew it was time
Yes.
to gear up.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, it was obviously when they left CBS, it was the face of Jordan Bird that saved the NBA and made CBS go live because, as we know, the finals were on tape delay. And of course, the NBC era of the NBA and NBC was all Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
Oh
And of
yeah.
course, closing out with the Shaq and Kobe Lakers. Um, I guess you can say the era of ESPN / ABC / the Mouse House, even though I really wish ABC would become their own sports division again, but that's just, one fan's interpretation. But I guess you can call it the, I don't know if you want to call it the LeBron Curry era, because they both respectively
Uh,
have won 4 titles.
That's pretty
you
tough.
I mean, you could say it, but I mean, like you said, you had Kobe in there as well because you had the kind of Kobe Lakers in there. You had a barrage of people in there, but I guess if you're going to say who were the biggest two out of that, it probably LeBron and Steph. It's them. That's their kind of era. It's hard to say. I mean, like I said, you had Kobe kind of kicking in there. Dwight may have did some. I'm trying to think if anybody else really kind of stands out. The Spurs were kind of kicking in there, but
Well, I
it's
mean, they won. Well, I mean, in the since ESPN / ABC got the NBA in the 2002-2003 season, um, you can say that the Spurs have won the most championships because they've won 5. They won. Wait a minute, they won 4. Warriors have won 4. As far as team wise, the Spurs and Warriors won the most because the Spurs won in 03, 05, 07, and
yeah, but we know
2014.
too. Yeah, we know, but Timmy wasn't that big star. If you really think about now, I'm thinking how many titles LeBron won. I mean, 9 times to the finals in
Well, he
this
got there.
time frame.
Well, he got there 8 straight years,
Yeah,
which you cannot take that away. That's an
You
impressive
can never
feat.
take that away from him. Definitely.
so
An impressive feat. Um, it's just it really is.
yeah, it's there. You really would just say yeah, and for their era,
He just didn't go 6-0.
Correct. He
nope.
went 4-6.
So
Or
yeah,
really,
that's pretty.
or really, I should say 3.5. Yes, I'm going there.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about that Mouse House trophy. Yeah. Or wait, the in season tournament. Count that one too. So technically 4. So it's technically 4.
No, no, I'm not. I'm sorry. I no, I'm not counting that NCAA tournament for anything. If we're gonna say Mickey Mouse restarts, make sure we say the same thing with Tim Duncan. You had a strike shortened season.
Oh, we
It
always
wasn't.
Oh, well,
we
you know, on this show, Dugan, we speak
yes,
that
Yeah,
100%. They
yes.
got an
yeah.
asterisk on their championship as well. That
All
goes with
right.
any team. Like I say, it would if the Warriors would have did it or my Sixers would have did it, it would have been an asterisk, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, so that little the 8 seed to get all the way in there. I was like, no, that ain't a true 8 seed that made it to the finals. I ain't doing that. Now Miami, yeah, you're a true 8 seed that got to the final. Hell, you had to even do more after that. You had to do a play-in tournament just to get in. So yeah, you're a true one. But yeah, that 1999, sorry, that I'll give you credit for it, but it ain't a full season. And
Yeah, I mean,
in
it'll say in the record books you won the title, but um,
yeah, there's some
yeah,
questions with that. But
there is a
yeah,
lot with
like I
that.
said, I'm hoping something gets worked out and that crew gets to stay together because it's never dull. It's always funny. People are watching stuff, making comments on it. It's I think it's just as much as the games you go to watch that. It's like they're the best thing for the NBA. And like I said, they just won another sports Emmy. So they're
Mhm.
still hot after all this year, after all the incarnation. First having just Kenny and Ernie, then adding Charles, then adding Shaq. Now you get some other random Draymond kind of comes in. Vince is here. It's just no, you can't let that go.
Well, once again, we are talking to our very good friend and basketball insider, the one, the only Mr. Steve Dugan. Of course, talking about what transpired here in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. So, going to Game 4 on this upcoming Friday, which again you can catch on ABC. If you're the Celtics, do you just say foot on the gas pedal? Do not try to give this team life, even if we do get the even if we do get the clinch in front of the
No,
home
no, no,
crowd.
no, no. This is Boston. This is what has happened to you before. You give a game up, something happens, this and that. No, Boston, get this win, get it over with. There's been too many times, especially you actually have a better road record than a home record. So you thinking you going home, okay, this and that, we'll do this, and now it's all of a sudden it's 3-2. Wrap this up. Get done with this. Don't leave any rooms for anybody to start doubting you. You come this far with all the years and everything else. Wrap this up. Be done with it.
Very, very good point. Always get some good points brought to you by the one, the only, Mr. Steve Dugan. Of course, we always appreciate Steve coming on and talking some basketball with us. So, do you still try to trade away Zach LaVine if you are your beloved Chicago Bulls?
I haven't even thought about that team. Um,
Got it.
I would love to try to find a way to keep DeRozan, but I know he's going to be gone. Yeah, I mean that's you really do just have to
Yeah,
start over.
DeRozan is definitely gone.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but it I would love to know what would happen if you get another year out of Ball, but I feel like Ball may not be able to do it. It is yeah, just break up the team because I love Kobe White. He's my Tar Heel, but I've seen this before when Ben Gordon flashes and then we signed this deal. We kind of did the same thing with Zach Levine. He had nice flashes. We signed this just break it down. I don't know what's in the college game anymore. I don't know what's in Europe, but just break it down, try to get a top 5 pick, and just try to do something else because keeping Zach Levine is not going to do anything. Now, I'm also not going to say just trade him just to trade him. Try to get something, and maybe we are waiting till the season starts, and maybe he plays himself and someone wants to do something. But it just start over, man. That's all we can do.
Oh, there you have it. There you have it with the one, the only Steve Dugan. So we've already talked about it ad verbatim, but I want to get your thoughts live with the masses. How do you feel of the unfortunate that is they're putting one of our beloved football players on the doggone Madden cover? How does that make you feel?
Now, I understand these football players are being nice and everything. We didn't need them on the cover. You don't even step on that. You know what? I've been so blessed. Let me go knock on the table right now. You know the only team I know that hasn't been on a damn is hard knocks, the Niners. I don't need no media attention. I don't need CMC on the cover or nothing. Maybe he's the rare one that can break that curse. No, don't. I understand he wanted that. No, 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 no. I don't want it. I didn't need to
No,
see it. Didn't need to happen. No.
doesn't need it. Oh no,
We all know you are
Steve.
the best. You are the best, and people are going to win Madden tournaments with you anyways. You don't need to be on the cover to show anything. I'm sure there's some breakout star, Jalen Hurts. Put him on there. He's breaking out. Hell, put Aaron. Put Aaron Rodgers on there. Aaron Rodgers want all the attention. Let him be a cover boy. That's the whole New York media, all that. That'd be perfect. Put Aaron Rodgers on it. That'd be great. We don't need that. We're fine where we are. Just quietly sing. Don't worry about us. Let us do it.
There you have it. There you have it. Steve giving us tremendous insights talking about I don't need it. So that's interesting. Very, very interesting. But
now what I need my Niners to hurry up and figure out, I understand we'll get this figured out by September. Hey Brandon, we get the deal. We all know where the thing is. So I know you're gonna miss most of training camp. Just make sure you're working out good and everything else. And let's go ahead and make this deal kind of happen. Or if you got some people interested in you, let us know. So because I know unfortunately we do have to pay our quarterback next year. I got some linebackers I gotta pay. I already got one signed up. I got some corners that might actually need to be paid. So I need you to kind of figure out you gonna get the money and go, or you want to stay one more year. Let's just call it what it is. A spade's a spade. Take your 5th-year option, get that on free agency, and hey, we get it. We can't keep it. Or if you really want to step out, you better make sure you can do some running back stuff like Debo, and we'll do what we got to do. This is our last year. We can't afford everybody.
Well, true enough, and that's a very factual statement. But here's my thing. You want to be paid like Amon-Ra St. Brown, but you have never been a number 1 wide receiver. True enough, yes. Your statistics have gotten better as years have progressed, but you're still not a number 1 receiver. You had the chance to prove that in the Super Bowl, but you got locked down defensively on man-on-man coverage. Same thing with Deebo Samuel. Now, Ricky Pearsall has been turning heads in OTAs. Now, granted, yes, this is OTAs, and you're running in shorts. I get it. I understand it. But however, if Ricky Pearsall happens to just ball out in his rookie year, it possibly can make Brandon Ayuk expendable. Because I've talked to other different 49er faithful fans, and I've asked, well, if one's to go, who do you think is leaving? And most of it turned to Ayuk leaving, which would suck. But again, you have Pearsall. Not to mention you have Ronnie Bell. And not to mention you would still have Debo, who you've already gave an extension to. So there you have that. If it was
aren't they talking about trading Debo as well, though?
It was going to be one of the two because they can't keep both. And that's the ultimate question. It's like, which one of the two do you keep? Do you keep Ayuk? Do you keep Debo? Like who benefits the offense more? Who does Brock Purdy benefit more out of keeping? I guess would be the question that has to be asked. And truthfully speaking, I really don't know if I have an answer. I really don't.
I say I don't think we're going to know until this season goes. This is the make or break it. That's it, because you're not keeping everybody. So we all know it. Hey, this is the last ride. Let's see what happens. That's it.
I mean, truthfully speaking, it really is New Orleans or bust. It really is. And I'm just not talking about getting to New Orleans and appearing and playing the game. I'm talking about going to New Orleans and winning it, to where you can exercise one demon, where the first Super Bowl loss took place in the Superdome, to which
we'll turn the lights out again if we have to.
So you mean to tell me last year wasn't Super Bowl or bust for you guys? I hear this statement again, Super Bowl or bust, but you guys had the talent last year to do it, and you didn't win it. So how are you? This is like the same thing. Okay, so
here's the real reason why. Yeah, last year we really should have did it, but it was the best. Well, I'll say right now that was the best team to do it. But this one is because you're not keeping everybody. There's no way. Because we have to pay Brock Purdy because we're not dumb enough to let him go. There's not enough money. People are going to leave. Now, it'd be great if some other people can be able to step up and do everything. But like I said, we're losing a receiver. It's great if a rookie can step up, but you're going to lose a very key core of a receiver. There's going to be somebody on that defensive back that is going to be gone, if not two. You know, hell, we are not even seeing Greenlaw. I believe he's got signed. We're still waiting for him to come back. I forgot he may not even be back until maybe 4 games and everything else. You know,
Well, he's definitely going to start on the pup list. That's for sure.
Yeah, Trent Williams. As much as I feel like he's still playing at a beast level, he's been in the league 13, 14 years. He may not want to come back. You know, so it's a lot of key parts, key things. Rightfully so, we're not going to be able to keep because of the salary cap, because we're going to have to pay the quarterback, and that means people are gone. So that's why this truly is the last ride, because you're going to lose people. It's time to sign people. So that's it. We ain't got no choice. We got lucky that we got Brock Purdy, or else we would have been going through this 2 years ago, because we would have been dealing with it with Trey Lance and this and that. We actually got lucky and got to save it, and we saw what happened with Brock Purdy the first year, this, and then now we got to the Super Bowl, so we ain't got no choice. This is it.
I agree.
It's a financial thing. Now next year, depending on how the team look, can I say, hey, we still got a chance to make it to the Super Bowl or see how this? Yeah. But right now, this is the prime of the prime. This is it. This is the last dance. This is where everybody's going. You're on the top of the level, and that's it. We got to win it, or the chances of us winning it again drops significantly.
Well, I mean, it's like once you pay the quarterback, this is where it all goes downhill, if you will.
Now, if he wants to take a Tom Brady, or if he wants to do a Shohei Ohtani kind of contract, and hey, you can pay me later on after I retire, a Bobby Bonilla kind of thing,
yeah,
and we can talk something else.
Yeah, and Bobby Bonilla Day is coming up soon, folks.
But I don't know if the NFL will let us get away with that, because I'm sure when baseball saw that, they're like, "What? We could do that?"
That man could retire the moment he signed that contract.
Yeah.
So hey, if someone's wise enough to kind of pull that off, hey, we might have another chance.
Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong on that. But quick question: have you seen Bad Boys Ride or Die yet?
No, I have not seen it yet. I don't know when the next time I'm going to be going to the movies. I don't know. Maybe we might go this weekend if I'm not working. We'll see.
Well, when you have the chance to go.
Wait up. I got a question for Dugan.
Go ahead.
How them knees feel, brother?
The truth, the knees were not the problem. It was the thighs.
Yeah.
It was the thighs the next day that were kind of tightened up there. Those hamstrings. Like, I thought it was the knees. The knees were okay. The knees hurt like afterwards, like when you kind of got back up and everything. But it was the thighs and hamstrings that kind of told me something the next couple of days.
Thank you, Texas Rangers. Thank you, Texas Rangers. Thank you very much.
They beat that team in blue.
They beat that team in the team in blue in Texas. Beat the team in blue in Los Angeles. Yes.
Good job.
Yes. And there goes the train coming by.
Damn, y'all heard
that? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We heard.
Oh my goodness. The very first time I spent the night at Dub's house on Phoenix,
mm-hmm.
I was talking to him. Literally, we had a full-fledged conversation. That train went by. Within 2 seconds, I was asleep.
He was.
I haven't heard a train track noise since we moved from Richmond, because I had the BART and the train tracks. That was my comfortability to go to sleep. So when we moved to Fairfield, it was dead quiet. I stayed over at the APT. Like I said, that train went by, dead sleep. And Dub was like, he woke up this morning like, did you sleep good? I was like, I don't remember going to sleep. But the best sleep that I had since we moved to Fairfield was when I heard that train that just literally just passed behind APT right now. Crazy.
I would say, yeah, that train, I'm so used to it, and I've been living around trains and stuff like that. Doesn't even bother. Trains and airplanes. I hear them all the time, and it's like, oh yeah, that happened. Yeah, okay. And
How was your last trip to Disney?
me, Disney. I didn't go to Disney.
You didn't?
I haven't. No. Last time I've been to Disney since, I don't know, I want to say 2010, but I know it ain't that. Janine, when did I go to Disney? Never mind. I went for some anniversary. I don't do Disney. That's her. I don't do that. She'll eventually go with Disney.
Not even Avengers Campus?
No, I didn't. No. But, when was the last time I went to Disney?
Last time I went to Disney?
Yes.
It was our 5-year anniversary. So I want to say it was October 2017.
There you go.
Shout out to Mrs. Dugan. Shout out to Mrs. Dean.
Yeah, that's the last time. Yeah, that's the last time I went to Disney. Even with Avengers, no, I'm not going to Disney. She'll probably go sometime this year. I don't know when, but she'll go. Probably around Halloween or something like that. Yeah, she's confirming it. So somewhere around Halloween, that's when she'll go. Disney gets my money from the Marvel movies and Disney Plus. They should be happy with that. I'm already supporting you with ESPN and everything else. So yeah, they're.
In other words, he is saying, I will see you on July when Deadpool and Wolverine come out to the theaters. Copy that.
Pretty much.
Copy that. Got it.
Cannot wait for that movie.
Oh, yes. Wade and Logan. Oh, yes. But quickly, just to recap in Major League Baseball, what went down scores-wise is there was 15 games on the slate. Giants beat the Astros 5-3. Angels beat the Diamondbacks 8-3. Padres the San Diego Fathers beat the A's 5-4. The Twins put up 17 as they beat the Colorado Rockies 17-9. Milwaukee beats the Blue Jays 5-4. Brewers the Orioles continue to play well. They beat the Braves 4-2 as the Braves just continue to miss Ronald Acuna Jr.
Yes, they do.
Nationals beat the Tigers 7-5. Cubs beat the Rays 4-3. Sorry, Oos. Guardians and the Reds. Reds get the win over the Guardians 4-2. Phillies lose to the Red Sox in Boston 8-6. Mets over the Marlins 10-4. Cardinals over the Pirates 4-2. Yankees, best record in Major League Baseball. They beat the Royals 11-5. In 10 innings, the Mariners beat the White Sox 2-1. The Chicago White Sox, a record of 17-52. Yikes. And the Rangers beat the Dodgers in Los Angeles 3-2. Thank you, Mr. Bochy.
Yes.
That means the Giants pick up a game in the standings. So that's good.
It's always a good thing.
Yes. But is there anything else we need to cover, gentlemen?
No, I think we got it.
I think y'all had another wonderful show.
Yeah.
That we did. Well, as always, we'd like to thank Kevin Perry for coming on and give us some good insight on boxing and the NBA Finals. And, of course, always good to have our good friend, Mr. Steve Dugan, coming on and giving us his thoughts on the finals. Is the finals over? Boston's up 3 games to none. With game number 4 coming on Friday. We'll see if – love you too, Devo. We will see if the Mavericks can force this back to the parquet floor and perhaps a gentleman's sweep, or will the Boston Celtics be pouring champagne and be clinching their first finals win on the road since they last won – or the last time the Celtics clinched an NBA championship on the road was back in 1981. Larry Bird's first against the Houston Rockets. So,
Well, now.
It's been a long time since Boston has clinched on the road and drunk champagne in somebody else's locker room. So we will see if that will happen. Nevertheless, thank you to everybody that chimed in on this 2-hour and 40-minute edition of episode 212 of the Mizzle Dub Show. We appreciate y'all.
Yes.
And to our newest subscriber that put us at 134, we say thank you very much. Don't forget to please subscribe to, like I said, Platinum Fights YouTube channel with our good friend Kevin Perry and the KO Nation podcast. Also, don't forget, please subscribe to the All Pro Joffos on the Pruneda Brothers YouTube channel, of course. Us on the Mizzle Dub Show. Hopefully you subscribe to us and continue to find us entertaining. But nonetheless, for Steve, for Mizzle, I'm Christoph Blackskin saying thank you for watching. And as always, it is 5 o'clock, some damn where. And you've been watching The Mizzle and Dub Show.
That's another great, spectacular show that was. Hey, Steve, definitely appreciate you coming on, man, and giving us a little bit of the knowledge.
No problem, man. I'll catch y'all next time.
Yes, sir. Yeet for sure. All the yeets.
Double yeet.
Yeets everywhere.
Yeet.
As he's feeling mighty yeeted, as I was over the weekend.
Yes, indeed.